Light news, Saturday, Funday with Nmplol, or get him new clothes. I'll get him a fuckboy clothing setup, drip or drown. Then we might head to the influencer gym with Bradley Martin. Get in now. Okay. Did you learn Mandarin yet? No, I've been trying my best, but it sucks. Okay. It's hard, man. It's hard. All right, I'm gonna blast off real quick. Thoughts about what? I don't know what you're asking me. Is that a Blau clip? I don't know. Okay, here. We blasted off already. I'm doing everything fast right now. We're only 11 minutes in and we've already gone through the intro, gone through my personal news, gone through the fucking blast off, and we're riding into dawn. Okay, Nick natted it. He's upstairs. Nick is upstairs showering right now. But yeah, they came in last night, and actually Wake was with them as well. And I would have loved to offer Wake a room. I didn't even know. Nick had not told Wake that I only had one room, and Wake was like, "Oh, I guess I have to get a hotel then." And I was like, "Well, normally I'd have two rooms, as a matter of fact, both for Nick and Arthur. They would have normally had separate rooms, but they could have bunked together, and you could have also been here, Wake, except for the fact that Austin did not want to pay for an expensive hotel and decided last second that he wanted to stay here. So Austin is here as well. Take Wake IRL. Oh, yeah, I should. That would be fun. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, motherfucker treats this like a free hotel, bro. I swear to God, Austin does. Anyway, we talked a lot about that on the episode, on the pod. Also, let me just send this shit to March real quick before I forget, because I have these videos that I shot yesterday that we're going to be adding on to the you got to get a bigger house, dog. Yeah, I know. We did the Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Si Do shit, the TikTok challenge yesterday, and I failed it spectacularly. I failed it in a spectacular capacity. I'm not afraid to admit it. You got a ball with Wake? Does he ball? I mean, he's tall enough. He looks like he could ball. You did the level skip? Yeah, I did. Shattered all the glass in my house, shaking my head. No. We tried to do that. Damn, look at the fucking beautiful camera. We're gonna try and use the Nick pack. He does. He's been asking. I unbanned some reformed NMP chatters during the collab today. If they get banned again, I said you're gonna whip me with an extension cord, so I think they'll be good. True. Wake says he wants to ball with you. I would have loved to. What sunglasses are those? I think those are like super old school 90s Karl Lagerfeld sunglasses that one of you guys sent me in the fucking P.O. box, as a matter of fact. I still wear them all the time. They make me look like such a hog. They're like ancient Karl Lagerfeld 90s shades that someone sent me a long ass time ago. Make sure you charge the battery that just died. I know. I've been trying to get him to do that. I've been trying to get him to charge the battery. He like ran upstairs and I was like, bro, you got to charge the battery. Yeah, this is what we were actually looking at. That's real. That's real, chat. That's not a joke. Clitter Freak Bob putting the Joe Brandon titty memes out there. Anyway, this is how the day started. Give me a kiss. She's like, not in front of the cameras, Dad.
A lot of people are watching.
That's messed up. Other hand. You high five me, but you won't give me a kiss? Wow.
Damn, that's crazy.
Right here.
Maybe she doesn't like Hezbollah.
Okay, you're a bad girl. Give me a kiss. Hold on. Gym today. Can I come stream for your gym today? And also, can I bring my dog? Wake is coming to stay in LA for a bit. Bitch, I know. He was in my house last night, but he couldn't stay with me because someone... Wait, bro, you are not wearing the same shit. Did you shower yet? Oh, yeah, that's... Yeah. Hairspray? No, I don't think so. You use hairspray? I might... I don't think I have hairspray. No, I don't use anything in my hair. Yeah, just... She's mad you're embarrassing her in front of your friends. Yeah, I know. I did. Play hockey with Nick. Nick would destroy me. He'd cross me up. I can't even stand on the fucking ice, dude. I can't even be on skates. Like, I feel like I am too big. I'm like, once you're above a certain height, I don't think God made me to fucking slide. You know what I'm saying? Because if I fall, there's far too much. There's far too much at stake if I fall. You know what I mean? Because when I'm falling from a much larger much larger distance. Solo peach raid, dog. They need trucks like you. What? Nick needs to teach you. Yeah, Funday is canceled. Breaking strong and consecutive explosions heard in occupied Jerusalem. Yeah, no, it's not canceled. Okay, I'll be honest with you, it's not fucking canceled. You know, politic updates or not. Yeah, Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah confirmed that Hassan Nasrallah had been martyred by the Zionist entity in the attacks on Dahia yesterday. Look at Matt Rempe highlights. You can be a big boy. Okay, stop. I know a lot of hockey players are tall. I'm not coordinated enough. Okay, give me a fucking break. What is this? Because I'm born a lefty. If I was an impressionable teenager, maybe I would have been like a Hitler Youth or something. But as soon as I started having my own political thoughts, I would have been a commie instantly.
I love that. Do you think that you being a lefty is like your canon event? Like you're always a lefty?
I think so. There are a lot of things that make me who I am, like my parents teaching me to treat everyone with dignity and that all work should be respected, regardless of what it is. My father also taught me that rich people are the bad guys and that. That's so funny because no, it's the opposite. My dad is like kind of a neo-lib, dude. What the fuck? Big Dog has a fucking PhD in economics. You know, he is literally a fucking, he is as like neoliberal, he's as pro-capitalist as you can get. He loves capitalism. He wrote books on capitalism, you know, also on antitrust, but still. So the AI doesn't have that. AI doesn't have that knowledge, it seems. No rich person deserves their wealth. I think those ideas stuck with me more than any right-wing
No rich
propaganda
person deserves their wealth.
and ever could have. That's how you know.
Which right-wing propaganda?
That's how you know this AI is like written by still someone who's like a liberal. You know what I mean? It's like a cartoonish depiction of what socialism is supposed to be.
Like post-World War I, do you think had the biggest effect on suppressing communist beliefs?
Okay, now I need to try this fucking AI. What do you think of the site? Using your likeness without your consent? I don't give a shit. Oh, also, speaking of not giving a shit at this point, I mean, dude, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
This might be the craziest bribe in U.S. history, but according to reports, New York City Mayor Eric Adams accepted a $50,000 bribe of Zin from a Twitch streamer. This is from the actual government indictment, so I'm going to read some of it to you. Quote, specifically, Adams, in a private meeting in Manhattan, met with the aforementioned Twitch streamer at a luxury hotel in Midtown. During this meetings,
this is why you cannot like anything you see on fucking TikTok, bro. This is like the journalism that this is the level of journalism on TikTok, you know? God damn, bro. We
Adams
are so
knowingly and willingly accepted a large bribe in the form of a
Bro said, according to reports, the reports are feared buck.
pallet of Zyn nicotine pouches, and in-kind gift worth an estimated value exceeding $50,000, delivered in exchange for Adams' commitment to grant preferential treatment in future city licensing regulations affecting the gaming industry. Okay,
God
so
damn.
how did he get this Zyn? Well, according to the document, it says the bribe took the form of an unusually large shipment of Zyn nicotine pouches delivered to a private location in New York City. So this leaves the question, Mayor Adams, what the hell are you going to do with that much Zyn? What makes this story even crazier is New York City has laws that restricts the sale of Zyn, meaning Mayor Adams is not a normal guy like you and I who loves Zyn. Dude is just restricting it. So this sounds to me like he couldn't get his hands on it, so he
I'm just glad he didn't fucking name me in the indictment. Like I'm realizing that if Alexander Lol Overruled, which is his full name, actually had put my name in that indictment beyond the meme, there would be an unimaginable amount of actual fucking idiots who would have literally, like, they didn't put two and two together. They just thought, oh, Twitch streamer, that's unique, that's interesting. I'm 100% certain if he had mentioned me by name beyond just like memeing about whether it was me or not, I think this would be actual mainstream news. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he didn't mention the streamer was Turkish, all things considered. Anyway, not sure why selling drugs is funny. People die from Zyn, dude. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how easily misinformation spreads online. It's just no interest in the truth whatsoever. Also, here is a negative consequence of like that sort of misinformation spreading online. This guy said, my brother saw the story post of my neighbor's house catching fire from the
Hey,
power
Elizabeth,
lines
for
due
him
to
and
the
his-
storm. And he said, and he sent me, lucky there's a Trump supporter firefighters, or Kamala would have had to let some illegals over to put that out. Right wingers at this point are so invested in the permaculture war that they literally look at like devastation occurring all around them, accelerated greatly as a consequence of man-made climate change. And they turn around and they're like, well, brother, how will I make this about culture war shit? How will I make this shit about politics? Them woke ass hurricanes, brother. It's just like, we're so done. I don't understand what the fucking, like, I genuinely don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with so many goddamn people. I think, and I never thought I would say this, I hope
Top story.
for a future where people are less interested. Yeah. I think we would be better off if people were less interested in politics and news in general. There, I said it. Because it turns out when people are interested in politics, they can still be, and are, as a matter of fact, in many instances, very fucking stupid. Okay? Very, very, very stupid. Like, think about some of the dudes that you encounter, like I was talking about at the courts, right? Like, I encounter a lot of normies on the courts. Okay? By the way, speaking of being stupid, look, look, this guy. If someone comes to kill you, you kill them first. Israel is simply settling the score. We live in a modern world, not one fit for terrorists. As long as the genocide of Israelis is their goal, Israel will continue to defend itself. But you can keep being a tanky for a pipe dream that'll never come true, Jenks, little bro. By the way, a year later, and the enemy, you, doesn't understand the truth when it is in your faces. Yeah, dude. I like that Israel is like a genuine terrorist entity at this point. And this motherfucker literally looks at like a military advance that caused like 6 buildings to fucking collapse with insane firepower, killing a shit ton of civilians in the process, children, women, elderly, in the middle of a crowded fucking neighborhood. And he's like, you know who's a terrorist? The people that Israel killed. That's right. Not Israel. Do normies ever test you on politics on the courts? Sometimes. What that dude say about Kamala? He was apparently one of the dudes we were playing was like running for president or something. I don't fucking know. I don't want to even talk about that shit. Yeah. Here, look. This is what I mean. Look, they are using HAARP to ensure that Hurricane Helene devastates the largest Republican stronghold area in Florida. This hurricane will destroy homes, displace thousands, and ensure much less participation in the presidential election in November. They will stop at nothing. Something is off about the reporting of this hurricane. 45,000 likes. I mean, the fact that it just popped out on the radar out of nowhere. Bro, what is going on in the minds of these fucking baboons, dude? It's like your desperate inability to refuse to recognize the truth is causing you to make up insane shit. Like, that's what it is, okay? That's what this is. Motherfuckers out here are just like, I will refuse to understand what's going on. I refuse to recognize what is happening. I refuse. And that is why I will make up my own damn mind and instead hallucinate an alternative reality. Because the truth requires just a little bit of reading or a little bit of confidence in like people who have done the reading before you. You know? Your hair isn't even close to curly today. It's really wavy. It's because I parted it instead of doing my regular thing, which is just let it ride like this, I think. Typical libs, brother. Doing hurricanes. My power's still out and I'm a socialist. Friendly fire. What? No, dude, it's not friendly fire. I'm saying it's ridiculous to assume. Oh, you're joking. Like, oh, sorry. I apologize for opening the socialist weather machine upon the devastating, opening the socialist weather machine on top of Florida where some socialists live as well. I mean, it is kind of crazy what is happening right now. My hometown is so far above the water, but this whole region is experiencing a catastrophe. Dam failure has led to massive river surges. Parts of interstate have collapsed. Yeah, Eastern Tennessee's got water surges inside of people's homes. Like, shit is out of control. Okay, there was a fucking entire hospital that was just like completely flooded. And And people are like too busy being like, let me take some content. Let me make some content out of this fucking thing. Hello, TikTok. Hurricane is here. And yes, I refuse to evacuate, even though I'm in the evacuation zone. Why? Because I'm not some pussy ass libtard. That's why. No hurricane can hurt me, brother. And then beyond that, motherfuckers are out here being like, they're out here also thinking, you know why this happened? Libtards. That's why. It's like, no, dude, you want to know why it happened? Because, well, two reasons. One, we caused it because of our carbon emissions. We caused it because we are destroying the planet, okay? We keep sucking the beautiful frack juice directly out of the ground, okay? And then, you know, everything that we operate is just burning and destroying the planet. But then also on top of that, our responsible state legislators, our responsible statesmen, our responsible governors, one, refuse to acknowledge that is even happening, and two, refuse to put money into hardening our infrastructure in a way to, at the very least, try and avoid complete catastrophe. Okay? That's where we're at this point. And motherfuckers are they're still like, nah, I refuse to believe that this is a real problem. I don't care. It must be because the storm is woke. This Kick streamer tried to stream it. Oh my God. I mean, to be fair, Kick is the most Florida coded platform anyway, so this was expected.
It's flooding! Help! 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 No!
Wait, did this guy just like literally broadcast his demise? Like, I don't understand. Like, did he die? Is he alive? I love this guy going, just go home, bro. Keg W spamming in the chat.
It was a nice run, GG, Shaq. It's my last stream. I'll kick last stream.
Is this stream real? Hurricane is a stream sniper.
Going out with a bang. Fuck! Fuck, the water's hit me.
Bro, you can't even the worst part about this kind of shit is that you can't even urge motherfuckers to like and subscribe because you're dead. Why would they subscribe to a dead guy? You know what I mean? Like, you can't even get them to subscribe to you. You can't even farm fucking revenue off of this because you're dead. There ain't no second stream after that. So why the fuck would people subscribe to you? You're dying. Donald Trump would have nuked Helen? Yeah, dead people famously do not provide any content. So you're cooked. Anyway, Helene? Yeah, this was a funny little moment from all of the people being like, this stuff is so exhausting. No, Netanyahu doesn't share the aims of the U.S. policy in Lebanon or Gaza. He wants to bomb the shit out of both places, ignore all U.S. concerns about civilian casualties or regional escalation, and then demand more weapons and money. Wow, whoever keeps giving this guy weapons sounds like he's either a complete fucking idiot or just approves of all the mass murder of civilians. Do you have any leads on who they may be? Let me know if you need help. I have Bing on my phone. This Netanyahu guy, oh brother, he keeps breaking rules and experiencing zero consequences, and then he has the nerve to ask for things that are regularly and unconditionally given to him. Is he delusional? Did your team win that basketball? We lost every fucking game, dude. I lost everything. I lost every single thing. And it's funny because like that one guy that I played against, I play against him all the time. And I usually, I mean, we have a decent track record. Like he wins sometimes, but last couple of games I've been beating his ass. So he cooked me on camera. And then also we ended up playing with some other people on the 5-on-5 full court. And I hadn't done 5-on-5 in a minute. So I didn't position myself well enough on the court. My off the ball movement was ass. I missed virtually every shot. I had not played on that court. It was so bad. It was so bad. Nick was dragging it. No, I mean, that's fine. It's like me and him. Me and the other guy was we could have clamped on these fools, you know. But Donald Trump to the Hurricane Helene victims. You'll be okay. That's great, man. Good take, Donald.
Alabama and all of the other states who have been really hit hard by that very large hurricane. That was that big one, a very large hurricane this week where with you all the way. And if we were there, we'd be helping you, and you'll be okay. Bama.
Yeah, we'll be helping you. Urgent, have you seen
Make
this yet?
baby pesto. He's
Bro, I don't care about baby pesto. Stop trying to make baby pesto happen here, okay? He's already popping. He's already popping everywhere else. Trump is an empath. I showed Nick that you're going to stream with Bradley Martin, and he went, oh, sob. How'd that fool Nick didn't know where doggy titties were? Bro, I think you forget that a lot of people are just like oblivious, okay? Bro, I think people's lack of knowledge is a bottomless well. Do you understand? People's lack of knowledge is a bottomless well. You got motherfuckers like this, okay, all the way to, and it goes up in terms of like Nick. Nick is incredibly intelligent in comparison to people like this, obviously, you know? So how do you stare in the face of, how do you stare at like utter stupidity every day on a daily fucking basis and still get shocked when someone is like not aware of, you know, basic facts that you have, I guess, taken for granted and live with inside of your mind every day? Nick, on the other hand, is brilliant in comparison to a lot of these people I'm saying, okay? He might have like a lack of interest or a lack of knowledge in certain areas. I get my news from you, Asmongold. Yeah, he's memeing. Nick also lies a lot for entertainment. Are you going to play the new woke Zelda? They made Zelda a girl. What the fuck? It's much shorter than Breath of the Wild. Kanka sen Ankara deyince biri Jacksonville equals Ankara dedi. Ankara'yı kimden öğrendiler? Benden öğrendiler. Turks are upset that people know about Ankara now. Ankara memes. Yeah, apparently, I hope these guys are... Lebanese are feeling. Lebanese podcast in English. Explain. I hope these guys are doing all right. Thank you for covering Lebanon, Asana, spreading the word. You are one of my idols. I can't believe you found our pod. Yeah, it was because of Caprice on Poppy. I gotta say, I love both of you. My expectations were high and the stream exceeded them. Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah is killed. He has been martyred by the Zionist entity. Okay. Hezbollah came out and confirmed his assassination. Iran has vowed to retaliate. We'll do a little bit of news real quick, and then we'll move on to some more fun shit, and then I'll talk about. Thank you, Adams Push, for the 5 gifted subs, and Twitch for the 5 gifted subs. I hope the chatters that are in Lebanon are okay. I hope they're safe. We are keeping you guys in our minds and our hearts. Martyred Omegalol. I mean, that is what happened. He got killed.
Overnight, the Israeli military has eliminated its most powerful target yet. Israel says longtime Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah was killed in an airstrike in Beirut. Hezbollah is now confirming that Nasrallah was killed. The Israeli military said Nasrallah was at Hezbollah's underground headquarters, one of several sites targeted in a series of massive explosions that the Lebanese health ministry says killed at least 6 and injured more than 90 others. The killing of Nasrallah not only strikes a blow to terrorist group's leadership, but could also trigger a wider war with Hezbollah's main backer, Iran. Imtiaz Tayeb has the latest from Beirut.
In a massive escalation, Israeli fighter jets dropped a series of bombs on Beirut's southern suburbs.
Now that the threat is resolved, surely Israeli strikes into Lebanon will stop, right? Yeah. Were people really cheering, or is that propaganda? Yes. Like I've said before, the Lebanese society is very diverse and has had a litany of infighting and complications. A lot of the Lebanese society also despises their governance. And they see Hezbollah as taking advantage of that, power vacuum pretty much, because like they are one of the more popular parties and are the basic standing military of Lebanon in general. So for this reason, what's good? So for this reason, I think like some people definitely have different opinions about Hezbollah in general. Their domestic governance obviously is not great either. Having said that, however, most people see it as like a defensive posture that Hezbollah presents towards Israel, and they certainly hate Israel a lot more than they fucking even hate Hezbollah. But the video that they were using to say people were cheering Hassan Nasrallah's assassination is from 2019, and that's it. Like the one I'm saying, the one in Lebanon. I'm sure people in fucking what do you call it? I guess the way I would describe it is like if there was an alien force that was not China, like far more powerful than America, right? Like an insane power. And this alien force was attacking America relentlessly and showing that they wanted to occupy the country. And then they assassinated like the Republican paramilitary that was like actively fighting against the aliens. Most Americans would be like, this is fucking incredible. This is bullshit. Like, this is completely unacceptable. They would not, like, even if you had a disagreement with the Republicans in that regard, you would still be like, well, they're up in arms against, like, you know, a much more powerful enemy. So that's the way to analyze it. Lol, worst metaphor in history? I don't think it's not. Wait, what? Hezbollah done got rocked. Hezbollah in shambles. Worst metaphor in history? I think it's a phenomenal metaphor because regardless of your opinions in terms of like domestic policy, if you are faced with a far larger enemy, I'm trying to explain it to Americans who have never actually faced a far larger enemy. So that's why I'm using the alien analogy. There's no other way to describe it. But ultimately, if aliens fucking dropped a massive bomb in the middle of New York to like assassinate the leadership of like the Republican paramilitaries that were fighting against them, you would probably be like, that's fucking bullshit. The much larger enemy would be the aliens in this circumstance. And you don't have to look any further than Ukraine to understand this. There are plenty of Ukrainians who did not like the Azov battalion, who did not like the fucking Nazis in Ukraine, who fought against said Nazis in Ukraine, who, once the much larger enemy, Russia, came in and started fucking blowing their goddamn cities, entire city blocks, came aligned with the Azov battalion. That's usually how things go. This was something that I mentioned in the beginning of the invasion as well, where I talked about how invading a country does not denazify it. As a matter of fact, it just galvanizes and emboldens some of the more fascist elements within the country and turns them into national heroes because their emancipatory goals are now completely justified. So yeah, not even making a comparison between Hezbollah and Nazis. I'm just using that as an analog for people to understand, especially because a lot of people who despise Hezbollah love, the Azov battalion. Hassan, I need an explanation. Yesterday, during the bombing of Beirut, some CNN journalists were sheltering. Could you explain why that would be necessary? They themselves say that Israel is precise and targeted when they strike. Why would they be afraid? Can't put my finger on it. Because Israel cannot be analyzed from the perspective of a belligerent, okay? In American news. But they are. They are not only belligerent as like in the war terminology, but they're also belligerent in the way that you colloquially understand the term. They're insane, okay? So that is precisely the reason why, of course, Americans are obviously understandably fearful. But as the United States of America, we can't acknowledge that Israel is a belligerent occupier in Lebanon. So we take this weird posture where we're like, yeah, you got to take your own tickets out if you want to leave. We can't even evacuate. See, hi, I'm Lebanese and just wanted to note that a lot of people that don't support Hezbollah, including me, but in these circumstances and living under the threat of a genocidal and destructive state, we see Hezbollah as our only form of resistance. So it's shocking when you hear the leader of our resistance is dead. Exactly. No, I totally get that. I totally understand that. Are we seriously mourning the death of the head of a terrorist organization? Brother, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have this opinion, you 1,000,000% would mourn, okay, if, again, an alien force out of nowhere came in and assassinated like hundreds of fucking civilians in the middle of Chicago to like execute whatever fucking Republican military general that was fighting against those aliens. Okay, you would be like, that's unimaginable. That is insane. I can't believe this just happened. Okay, you can slap on the terrorist sticker over and over again, but what you fail to recognize is Israel is a far greater terror in the region. It's just that we don't analyze Israel as a terrorist organization because it's a state. Okay, and it's not only a state, but it's also a state that's aligned with the United States. If you want to see a terror state, we consider Iran to be a terrorist state. We consider Russia to be a terrorist state. Those countries are outside of the scope of influence of the United States of America, and they are personally viewed as a state sponsor of terror. Israel is significantly larger in terms of the terror it presents to enemies that it occupies, enemies that it is a belligerent occupier of in an unjustifiable war that it wages upon every fucking country in the region and all of the territories that it currently illegally militarily occupies. So it doesn't really matter what sticker you're slapping onto it. It doesn't change that dynamic at all. Okay? And in terms of analyzing Hezbollah's militancy in the dynamic between Israel and Hezbollah, when you look at the tit-for-tat bombing campaigns that occurred since October 7, right, between Israel and Hezbollah, Israel is responsible for 82% of all bombing, and that number has actually grown now as well. So ultimately, if we're going to look at it on a same moral boundary, if we're going to all of a sudden operate on the same moral playing field, Hezbollah is the far greater lesser evil in that situation. Okay? Incredibly restricted and restrained in terms of its tit-for-tat military campaigns in comparison to Israel, because Israel doesn't have to be restrained. Israel can do whatever the fuck it wants, and America will give it billions and billions of dollars in weapons, or billions of dollars that they are going to give to Israel instead of you for your health care, for your free college education, to fix the fucking potholes, or to harden our infrastructure against climate change and the natural disasters that seemingly occur at a more rapid clip than before. Year over year, America is both under fire and also underwater at the same time. And yet, our infrastructure is falling apart, and we have absolutely nothing going on to fix it because there's no money for that. Okay, we can't do that. There's no money for the top of the hour ad break avoidance fee, because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break, and you could be defensive against that by subscribing for $4.20 until the month of September is over, or for free with a Twitch Prime. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Or by getting gifted subs. Flocky, thank you for the 10 community gifted subs. Here is the 3-minute ad break now. The 3-minute ad break. Here it is. The copium is insane. Keep indoctrinating children and asking them for money. Goddamn, your copium is full force right now. It's not copium if I'm just giving you facts, okay? It's actually you that is engaging in copium while simultaneously saying it's copium. Also, children, it's hilarious. This community is, broadly 30 plus. But you can fantasize about them being children, I guess, in your mind. Not only are you wrong on that front, you're also wrong when you say this is copium. It's pure projection. You are the one who is coping in that regard, hoping that what I'm saying is not true. You need to explain you're coming from the POV of someone in Lebanon. Yeah, I mean, I'm explaining it from the perspective of people who are under a relentless bombing campaign at this moment. But ultimately, regardless of the command structure being gutted and eviscerated by Israeli bombing campaigns, the people's interest in emancipation still remains. Like, that doesn't go away. You know what I mean? People are not going to be like, all right, well, they killed Hezbollah. They killed the Hamas leadership. I guess it's over now. Like, it doesn't work that way, which is hilarious because we know it doesn't work that way after 12 months of relentless bombing in Gaza, where virtually every Israeli general has come to that same conclusion. But because Hezbollah and Lebanon is new, they're using the exact same arguments. We must liberate the people of Lebanon from the grips of Hezbollah in the exact same way that they said we must liberate the people of Palestine from the grips of Hamas. Okay? That's it. And it's funny to see chatters try to run that exact same route. Try to run that exact same fucking route. Like, as though this hasn't already happened for the past 12 months. They shut the fuck up about it now because they recognize it's a done deal. It's not going anywhere and it's not going to work. They leveled Gaza to liberate the Palestinian people. Of course not. Yeah. All they're doing is liberating the people of Lebanon from their bodies. Exactly. Anyway, let's continue.
Triggering deafening explosions and sending huge plumes of crimson smoke in the skies above. On the ground, near total devastation, at least 4 buildings pulverized. Israel's military says it killed Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, and this morning the group confirmed he was dead. Syed Hassan Nasrallah was a singular figure within the political and paramilitary force. known for his fiery speeches, like this one we attended in August. For 32 years, he led Hezbollah, which means
Ghassan Kanafani, bodies fall, ideas live forever. And it's not just ideas as well, it's ideals. Not just ideas, but ideals, okay? People understandably have a need for emancipation. People understandably do not want to live under permanent military occupation. People don't want to get fucking bombed into bits, okay? You feel me? That's a normal, understandable position that every human being has. So, of course, it does not fucking matter. Like, assassinating the head of this organization will maybe, okay, will maybe stop it'll probably stop the bombing campaigns for like a little bit. Even that is not likely, right? From the Hezbollah side. But ultimately, when you continuously and mercilessly and relentlessly occupy territory, more and more territory, you keep bombing these people, they're gonna fight back. Okay? That's it. There is no world in which you can bomb people so hard that they end up liking you. They're just going to like you less. And this has happened over the course of the past 20 plus years of permanent military occupation in the Middle East with America. Look at Afghanistan. The Taliban has taken over Afghanistan again. You know? It's fucking stupid. There's only one commander for Hezbollah alive. Dude, I don't think you guys understand. Unless you personally think that people's understandable resentment against Israel in the territory was because Hassan Nasrallah was like the singular figure mind controlling everyone to hate Israel, this doesn't make any sense. Why do a lot of Americans fail to comprehend this, okay? A lot of Americans, because we are so comfortable in the lap of luxury, in the first world, in the core of empire, we have no way to comprehend a much greater threat to our existence. We don't have any way of understanding that, so much so that we make up our own fake threats against us, like some fucking goat herder in Afghanistan or some rice farmer in fucking Vietnam, okay? Like, we literally have zero enemies. We have 800 military bases and zero real enemies. So much so that we make up new ones in order to justify our fucking check your pager. Like, this is again, a powerless person posturing as though they benefit from America and Israel's actions. You, motherfucker, do not have health care, okay? You will never achieve the American dream. You will never be able to own a house. You will never be able to get upward social mobility. Your life will be worse than your parents' generation. But because you recognize that, you have to like grab onto anything. You have to grab onto anything and everything you can to be like, well, no, this is check your pager. You're Hezbollah. You're gonna die. You are still the same fat kid on the inside, insecure nepo baby loser. I know, man. You're right. Gray name sock account in my chat, who is probably on his 8th fucking fake account just so he can chirp in here, is not the loser. It's the Twitch streamer that he's fucking yelling at on a Saturday, on a beautiful Saturday. You could be out enjoying your life, but because you're angry and resentful, okay? Yes, I am. Are you mad? Do I seem mad? Not even a little bit, because I understand the hurt that you have experienced. I understand the systemic problems that you experience on a daily basis that have hardened you to this degree, that make you seek out this kind of negative engagement with people online, because you can't have this conversation. You can't have a normal interaction with human beings in the real world, okay? You come across as a resentful, angry little worm in here. You don't come across as like a cool guy who expertly trolled a Twitch streamer. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm telling you, okay? This is where it comes from. Like the anger and resentment that you have, it builds up. And the lack of future prospects that you see in front of you makes you angry. So you lash out at anything and everything you can. And you grab onto like America's actions as though they are good for us, as though they're great for us, you know? Oh, yeah, a fucking 9-year-old was exploded in Lebanon, but you don't care. That's a good move. That was fucking sick. Like, go turn off the fucking broadcast and literally watch college football or something, okay? It is probably a more productive thing for you to do. True, we should just let you spread pro-terrorist propaganda unfettered. I never spread pro-terrorist propaganda. I am not in support of Israel's actions, and I'm not in support of America's actions, okay? You support Houthis killing women for trying to get educated. There has never been a single moment where I've supported such things. And you will not be able to find that. And that's precisely why you're just making it up. Okay? You're making it up. Also, the irony here is that you support just killing the women yourself with American bombs. You literally just made a reference to that right here. Check Your Pager is a reference to Israel's terror attacks in Lebanon, utilizing a civilian communications device in direct contravention of international humanitarian laws and rules of fucking war. It is a violation of the Geneva Convention. It is literally an act of terror. Former CIA Director Leon Panetta has said as much. And you're in here justifying that act of terror, celebrating it, and hoping that it happens to someone who is living in the United States of America. Okay? A civilian communications device, yes. That is what a pager is. Most commonly used by doctors and nurses, which Israel also killed a fucking nurse. From when it was a civilian device, guys, pagers are a civilian communications device, okay? I can't believe we're having this conversation again. I'm not mad. The reason why I'm not mad is because I hear this all the time. And I know where this anger and this spite comes from, this resentment comes from. I know why you're upset. I just wish you could have a little bit of an open mind and recognize the hurt that is your own government is causing you, okay? But instead, you want to close your eyes to that and go, hey, at least there's someone lower than me that my government is fucking owning right now. My government is actually funding and supporting the ownage and the carnage in the third world. So it's great. It's not going to fix your life. As a matter of fact, it probably grows your resentment and anger as you flail desperately in this death spiral that you found yourself in.
Means Party of God and is considered a terrorist organization by the US and many other countries. And through support from Iran, he expanded it not only into a political force.
You are doing it right now. These takes are atrocious as resident Texan, 19-month subscriber. What takes? Do it from the perspective of a Syrian now? What? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. All right, let's continue.
Hezbollah, which means Party of God, and which is considered a terrorist organization by the U.S. and many other countries. Through support from Iran, he expanded it not only into a political force, but also one of the most powerful and heavily armed standing armies in the region. Nasrallah's death would be a potentially catastrophic blow for the group. Several of Hezbollah's military commanders have been assassinated in other Israeli strikes since July, and thousands of its members were injured in booby-trap pager and walkie-talkie explosions earlier this month, leaving it badly diminished and potentially leaderless. The stunning developments follow Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to the UN General Assembly, where he received a mix of boos and applause.
And we'll continue degrading Hezbollah until all our objectives are met.
Yeah, I wonder what those objectives are. For the record, there's never been an instance where Israel has not said that they're doing this for like security concerns. Just so you understand. Like, it is always a security concern. Okay? This is like the justification for the state of Israel existing since 1948. Okay? So when they say, oh, this is a security concern, understand that, like, that is the justification for you to hear in the Western world and understand and agree with. Okay? The tactic is always the same. Okay? Fuck shit up, displace civilians, and then settlers come in and take over that territory. People understandably feel resentful and spiteful against Israel, fight back. Then Israel encroaches on more territory because you have to protect those civilians that now moved into that area, right? That's why people are desperately, inside of Israel, you have ultra-Orthodox, rabid fucking ultra-Zionist, ultra-nationalist settlers who are fascists trying to go into Gaza and settle again. And they have plans to settle Gaza again. This is what they did in the West Bank. This is what they used to do in Gaza. This is what they did in Sinai. Okay. And this is what they did in Golan Heights. This is what they did in Shebaa Farms, which is technically Lebanese territory according to Syria. And it doesn't matter, right? They will always have an appetite for more and more territorial acquisition. And then when they move people into that territory and the people that are now displaced from that territory are like, well, what the fuck is this shit? This was my family's farm. Why the fuck did you take that? Some Zionist on a Discord chat called you Hasanabi. I've heard that a million times over, my friend. It's not new. I don't really care about it. I think it reveals their position more than, anything that I've ever said. Yeah, look. Israel is preparing for a limited incursion into Lebanon. Israel invaded Ukraine. We'd be hearing the same rhetoric against Ukraine. Yeah.
Overnight, Israeli warplanes targeted even more areas across Beirut's southern suburbs, reportedly carrying out at least 20 strikes before dawn.
These fucking people cheering this shit on, which is just more civilians dying, brainwashed by Zionism, brainwashed into thinking Israel's legitimate. 1 out of 3 people in Haifa are non-Jewish Russians. This is nothing but colonial genocide of a different flavor, fake-ass state. Yeah, I mean, it is. It totally is. Okay? Oh my God. Oh my God, I just realized something. Wait, hold on. Oh my God. I didn't realize that there was miscommunication between me and Quen. We were going to do it on Sunday. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There was miscommunication. I had planned it for shit. Okay, brother, don't scare us like that. We thought it was World War III or some shit. No. Okay, let's continue. Sorry. I booked everything for Sunday thinking that it was on Sunday. But I think on the email, I didn't realize that they booked it for the 28th. And the 28th is today. Hold on. It's my fault. Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Okay. I said I would pay for the production coming in today because I fucked it up. It's my fault. All right.
Now, President Biden and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin have both denied being given advance warning from Israel of the massive strikes targeting Nasrallah, with Secretary Austin saying the first time he was told about it was while the strikes were actually happening, as the White House now instructs the Pentagon to, quote, assess and adjust U.S. forces across the Middle East as needed. Jeff.
Yes, thank you.
Destruction that will echo through Lebanon's future for years to come. Now, only glimpses remain of the lives that lived here and the 4 apartment blocks that stood until 3:30 this morning. Scenes repeated across
village down south. Everyone is fleeing, and the likelihood we lose that land is very high. Christian village, by the way, no Hezbollah. Is election Donald Trump a better choice for the safety of Lebanon? Fuck no. There is no better choice. There is only one choice. America does what it wants to do. I need you guys to understand, okay? America and Israel, as an extension of America, is a force that will not change its trajectory regardless of whether a Democrat is in charge or a Republican is in charge. This is something that is important for a lot of people to comprehend because this is a Democratic administration doing this, and Democrats are supposed to at least present themselves as a counterbalance against the Republican incursions, okay? Against Republican neocon sentiment, against Republican death and destruction. And it's very obvious that they're not doing that. The Democrats are not doing that, and they're waging the exact same bloody war. So Donald Trump is not going to change that trajectory even a little bit, if not make it worse. It doesn't really matter to the people that are directly under this permanent occupation at this point. But if you are living in these regions, there is unfortunately no solution for you in terms of like who is going to be, who's going to be in charge of this death and destruction. That's it. And before you fucking point to this, okay, and say, when Israel killed Ahmad Yassin, the leader of Hamas, the Bush administration condemned Israel for killing 7 others. When Israel killed Hassan Nasrallah, the Biden administration congratulates Israel for its measure of justice and Israel strikes against 300 people. This right here makes it seem as though George W. Bush is more moderate. Okay. On Israel, he was. And I repeated this before. I talked about this like a couple days ago. But that does not mean that like the American foreign policy has moved so firmly into the right that this doesn't mean that like a Republican would do that right now. Trump would do that right now. They would not. Okay. Understand where we are in terms of like America being a uniparty in its analysis of foreign policy. Okay. We are uniparty on foreign policy, especially. George W. Bush was more moderate technically and still fucked up the bag in Israel-Palestine in very meaningful ways. George W. Bush was also a fucking death-dealing warmonger. His administration is literally the worst. Still worse than the Biden administration, still worse than the Trump administration in terms of its foreign policy. Of course, it's unimaginable. No one approaches the death and destruction that the Bush administration dealt in the to the world, and even in terms of domestic policy, in terms of like greatly accelerating America's security apparatus and internal surveillance state. But having said that, we, as a consequence of George W. Bush and as a consequence of Barack Obama continuing that foreign policy, as a consequence of Donald Trump continuing that foreign policy, have now firmly moved as a uniparty to a level of like right-wing fascist behavior from the Democrats and the Republican Party both. This basically is what I am trying to explain to people, that like if your expectation is that, you know, one party is going to do it differently, it's not going to happen. I mean, we're talking about some complex stuff right now. If you want to, yeah, sure.
I'm quite ignorant when it comes to politics.
No, it's all good.
I don't know nothing about it. So I heard something about fascism, communism. What I hear there?
Yeah, we're just talking about the leader of Hezbollah being killed in an Israeli strike on Beirut. Give Biden 4 more years and clear Bush? No, I don't. I mean, Biden doesn't have 4 more years anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Where's this at?
This is Beirut. This is Lebanon. This is Lebanon's capital with 2.5 million people living in it. Well, it's probably a larger number now because a lot of the Lebanese population that was in southern Lebanon have had to escape into Beirut because they thought that would be a safe territory for them.
What are they running from?
Israel. Israel's bombing the shit out of everywhere.
Wait, what?
Israel, America's greatest ally, the most important country in the world, the most moral nation, the most moral democracy on the planet, is ruthlessly and mercilessly bombing southern Lebanon, including southern Beirut.
What did Lebanon do?
They just kind of were there. They happen to be Israel's neighbor.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Israel's justifications for it is that Hezbollah, which is one of the parties inside of the Lebanese parliament, which was created as a resistance group against Israel the first time Israel invaded Lebanon and occupied it for years, and then successfully fought back against Israel and removed the Israeli invasion from its territorial boundaries, and then did it again in 2006, is lobbing rockets into Israel in a tit-for-tat
Wait, are you
border.
saying Israel's trying to expand?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Does everyone know this?
Yeah. Everything. You are so misinformed. Yeah, I know. I'm so misinformed. You're right. Yes, Israel's trying to expand. Yes.
And our tax dollars are helping them?
Yeah.
Well, I want my money back.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that.
Oh my God. Is this stuff
So
that the average American knows?
District of South Beirut.
The average American that is informed will be informed by mainstream media, and the mainstream media usually will tell them, like, you know, Hezbollah, big bad, they're big bad terrorists, they're scary terrorists, they're Islamist fundamentalists, they're scary, scary, scary. Israel good, Hezbollah bad. Israel has to do this in Lebanon because they have to take care of Hezbollah.
So Lebanon has people. People are called Lebanese, right?
Yeah.
So one of my neighbors growing up was Lebanese, and he had a daughter who was 1 year younger than me. She was really hot.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Don't know what that has to do with anything, but all right.
Wait, I wonder if she's single now.
A sprawling suburb hollowed out by Israeli
bombs. Austin is Lebanese.
Really?
Yeah, half.
That makes
bombs
sense.
And fear.
Because he's hot too.
A suburb still burning.
There's an intense heat coming from the basement of that building. The sky is dense
with the smoke. It smells acrid. The scale of destruction around here is vast. Not just at this site, but everywhere you drive around De Gea, there are signs of these airstrikes. And just a moment ago, we heard Israeli planes in the sky. There is a tense feeling now that as bad as all this is, yet more could be coming.
What's
Fresh
that helmet
fire
gonna
from
do
the
against
sky
a
did
rocket?
soon fall,
Nothing.
but they brought
So why
mere
is he wearing it?
tremors.
In case like debris falls on his head?
Yeah.
Are they bombing civilians?
Yes. Like a shit ton. Yeah. Like yeah. Fuck yeah. Of course. Who do you think lives there? These are just residential buildings. Yeah, there's babies in those buildings. There's mothers in those buildings. There's elderly people in those buildings, and they fucking destroyed them and killed like 300 of them. It's overwhelming majority civilians. Like
Are they trying to intentionally hit civilians?
I think their goal is to cause as much chaos as possible, like they did in Gaza, where they don't like their goal is to just like destroy the normal existence of people there to make it unlivable.
Isn't that kind of the definition of terrorism?
Yes, it is, and they are doing that. They are doing terrorism for sure.
Oh my god!
Compared to the seismic eruptions that leveled large parts of De Gea last night,
The city looks
an
beautiful.
overwhelming use of
Yeah,
force focused on
Beirut is a beautiful city. Like Lebanon is a beautiful country. Beirut is a beautiful city. Like it is a very modern city. Like it's a city.
I see a shopping center right there in the bottom
Yeah, it
left.
just looks like fucking, it's no different than like Paris, you know what I mean, or Chicago or some shit. It's just like a city.
breaking Hezbollah's command and control center and decapitating an entire movement.
Israel claims that there are cruise missile launchers hidden under every building, and that grandma is hiding those cruise missile launchers under her, bed, and that's why they have to hit those targets. And they use our weapons to hit those targets. They don't have those bombs, so we give them billions of dollars. I believe, I don't know what the sum total is, but since 1948, the inception of the state of Israel, when it first became a nation state, by doing pretty much this kind of stuff from the jump, we have given $250 billion total. And the Biden administration greatly accelerated it post October 7 in terms of tens of billions of more that we have given to the state of Israel to continue bombing all of these countries.
I don't want to sound like an idiot here, but why are we doing that?
How do I explain it?
Like, why would we help them do this? I don't understand.
Israel is, how do I describe it? It's like, I have to describe to you what settler colonialism is, where you send a bunch of people to an area with the specific purpose of colonizing that area. That's kind of how America was founded as well. We are a settler colonial nation. We've sent a bunch of people here, and then those people came in and fucking killed every single indigenous person. And then we occupied more and more land.
That's what Thanksgiving's about, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Israel's doing that since 1948. Originally, it started under the British Empire when England or British Empire took over Palestine, the area that is called historic Palestine. And they didn't really like Jewish people a lot. This is pre-World War II.
Who didn't?
Most people in Europe did not. They were very anti-Semitic. And so they were like, oh, we don't really like Jews that much. We should just send them somewhere. Where can we send them? A lot of the Christian Zionists predate almost Zionism being like a Jewish movement. There was a guy named Balfour, Lord Balfour, who made a declaration. Basically was like, we should ship all of the Jews here in England to the desert instead, to historic to mandatory Palestine. And that's basically how it started in the early 1900s.
One guy did this
post World War One.
Okay.
After they took over Palestine from the Ottoman Empire.
When you say Jews, you mean Jewish people?
Yeah.
So this is a religion.
Well, Judaism is not just a religion; it's an ethno-religion. As
What's
in, that? There are different. It is also an ethnicity as well as both.
Okay.
So you can be a Jewish person. It's matrilineal. If your mother is Jewish, you're technically still Jewish, but you don't have to be a practicing Jew.
Okay.
And there are different kinds of Jewish ethnicities under the umbrella of Judaism. You have Sephardic Jews, you have Mizrahi Jews, you have, and it depends on what region they're coming from originally or what region they lived in historically.
This is crazy. Okay. I did not know this.
But ultimately, One guy who was like, I don't think we should ship the Jews into the fucking desert, was actually a Jewish guy who was like, no, we shouldn't do this. This doesn't seem like a great idea. But this is like a very long and convoluted history. I want to bring it back to some of the questions you had today.
Yeah.
Right? What was the last question that you had when I went all the way back to like fucking Lord Balfour?
I forgot. But I feel like, can you ship people?
They did, yeah.
How does that work?
Especially accelerated after World War II as well.
Was it they put them in like they did with the slaves? They put them in the boats?
No.
Down
They,
there, or?
like a lot of people voluntarily went as well. Especially after World War II. Like originally, Zionism amongst the Jewish population was looked at in a very negative way. Zionism is the ideology behind like the development of the nation state of Israel being a Jewish ethno-state, a state for Jews only for the most part, or a state where Jews have all of the rights and that non-Jews also can coexist, but don't have the same set of rights.
That sounds kind of racist, brother.
It is racist. That is precisely why I say, and many academics consider Zionism to be a fascist ideology, because it is. In the more like in a nicer way to put it, if you want to put it in a nicer way, you can say like, oh, it's a way for Jews to have self-determination and sovereignty.
So can we as the black delegation claim Michigan and kick everyone else out?
I think people have tried that. It didn't work
out. Why?
You know, not for Michigan specifically, but well, America is like Zionism, but for white people. Whiteness also is not as like hard-lined and as defined as like as Judaism is as an ethno-religion. So whiteness can expand usually. We also did it in Liberia too, but that's besides the point. I don't want to get into that.
Got it.
But basically, you are legitimately insane.
What about what he said is insane?
Oh, your question. They never have a follow-up. He'll just say I'm anti-Semitic or something or lying. There's never like any sort of tangible counter to anything I'm saying. It's usually just shit slinging.
Someone said Michigan sucks. I mean, we'll take it, guys.
So, you asked why we fund Israel so much.
Yeah, why?
There's a couple different reasons, but I think the most reductive way to explain it, the easiest way to explain it, you are presenting history in such a one-sided manner. Yeah, you're right, totally. It's a very one-sided manner, because it is. It is a one-sided manner. It is a moral wrong. If you are anti-fascist, Zionism at the time was very reasonable. Yeah, that's why all the early Zionists now sound exactly like me, right? Fucking Albert Einstein. Go read his letters about how Jewish fascism is turning into Nazism, and you'll understand that, like, perhaps early Zionists who were critics of what the Zionist project became, as soon as they understood that the fundamental principle behind a land without people for a people without land was wrong, because there was people there. It wasn't a land without people, okay? Without a state, Jews are being persecuted all around the world. Dog, what are you talking about? You think anti-Semitism has been dealt with now because Israel exists? It's worse now, okay? It's gonna get even worse now, as a matter of fact, because Israel keeps bombing everything and saying we're doing this for Judaism and literally bringing you, I suspect, a Western Jew along with the project. When you just want to live your fucking normal life, you don't have to hold on to this notion that like Jews are a monolithic force and they all care about Israel. And Israel, I don't even think this person is Jewish, by the way, but that's besides the point. But the notion that without a state, the Jews are being persecuted all around the world is, I'm not Jewish. Okay, then shut the fuck up, okay? Shut your stupid fucking bitch ass up, okay? I'm sick and tired of Christian Zionists coming in here and outflanking anti-Zionist Jews in my goddamn community and chirping like this shit. You didn't even go to like Jewish camp. Where did you fucking, where did you develop this sentiment? You didn't even get the social conditioning, goddammit. What the fuck are you talking about? You didn't go to Birthright. You didn't get your shit sucked at Birthright. Why the fuck are you so ride or die? Sorry.
So you said Jewish camp. I thought they got rid of those.
No, that's different. It's like basketball camp and shit like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm not very well versed in all this sort of stuff.
God damn, this shit pisses me off so much, bro. Christian Zionists are so fucking annoying.
Oh man.
Okay, let's continue.
This is all crazy. Like this
Let me
whole thing.
Let me explain the process.
Why are we giving them money? I don't understand. Like,
okay, So the region is a resource-rich region. Okay? There's a lot of oil. We care about oil. Everything runs on oil. Of course, everything runs on oil.
What about Tesla?
So that's really important. And there's also a very important trade route there. Okay?
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you a map.
Okay.
Okay? Let's show you here. So let's pull it up on a map right here. Oh, shit. Thank God I didn't show that. That's like fucking...
Every time.
I know.
Can't beat
it's
it.
Fucking annoying. All right. Okay, here. What the bro? I pulled the image. This is the image. This is 1p, dog. What the fuck? God damn it, Google. Get better, okay? Get fucking better. Here, I'll show you. Let's do trade routes. Maybe that's a better map. Okay. So here, open image, new tab.
What
is happening? Why is every image like this, bro?
I'm gonna be honest. I can't load porn either.
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, this shit is hella annoying. Okay, let's see. This one works. Okay, thank God. Okay, so this is a trade map. Okay, these are some trade routes. Okay, one of these trade routes, especially if you want to cut directly in from like Asian countries, if you want to cut directly in to Europe, is you have to go through this area. Okay. This area that's known as the Red Sea. There's a lot of countries around there that might have a different perspective than the United States of America. So we packed them all up and we made sure that they had either puppet states that were in control of that entire trade route, or at the very least, at the tippy top of that, you have the Suez Canal. Okay, this is the easiest to secure part of this trade route. It's the final part of this trade route. On the one side, you have Egypt. On the other side, you have Israel. Okay. America needed, and England before it, needed some way to make sure that they have full and complete control over this, over the Suez Canal, to ensure that like countries there don't turn around and go, hey, we're shutting this off. Actually, you really pissed us off, America. I don't like that. We're going to shut the Suez Canal off. Okay. Technically, it's Egypt on both sides, but yes, Israel being there is what is significant.
Okay, I understand we need the trade route, but why can't we do what we did in the past? Instead of giving them weapons, just destroy them.
What do you mean?
Like we went and took oil from other places. Why would we let these small people tell us what to do?
Because no matter how powerful of a country you are, America is kind of doing that already in the region, but like it's still unstable. Why is it unstable? Because Egypt is a massive country. Egypt needs American billions and billions of dollars of money from America. That's why it's a client state.
Wait, who does? Who needs that?
Egypt.
Why?
Because they could not exist in the way that they do without America consistently pumping it full of money. However, the Egyptian governance is shaky. Why is it shaky? Because there's a lot of fucking people there that might go, hey man, I kind of don't like what you're doing. I'm going to do a coup. And that has happened in the past in Egypt's history. As a matter of fact, during the Cold War, if we're going to go all the way back there was a lot of allegiances with the other major power in the world, the USSR. Russia.
But they suck. They can't even beat Ukraine.
Okay, well, that's new Russia. That's an entirely different story. But
We have
during
no
the
one to fear
Cold War,
anymore.
we were afraid that like Egypt might, align with the Soviets. A lot of the pan-Arabic nationalist movements that were forming when countries were being formed, nation states as we understand it were being formed, were like, hey, we'll take our allegiances from whoever the fuck wants to support us. If it's not going to be America, maybe we kind of like socialism a little bit. Maybe we want some money and some weapons from the USSR. America did not like that. They were like, no, you could not work with those guys. America defeated the USSR and destroyed and dissolved the USSR. And in the aftermath, they were the only big game in town for many, many years until China came in. But even China is not doing that as much right now. But basically what is going on is these countries are completely captured by American interest, by American money. America gives, weapons to these countries so they can fund their militaries. And, you can use that military to suppress your population if they try to do an uprising, things of that nature. We do tons and tons of information sharing, surveillance, all this stuff, right? So basically, at the heart of the matter is America wanting a ride or die, right? And what is a bigger ride or die than a country that is currently being run by a guy who grew up in Philadelphia? His name is Benjamin Netanyahu, also known as Benjamin Netai. I believe he has some other names as well. May or may not have been an intelligence asset at the time for the United States of America and also Mossad, which is the Israeli intelligence.
What do you mean he grew up in Philadelphia?
He just grew up in Philadelphia.
And he's the leader of
and he
a
is
different...
yes, and he's the longest running, I think at this point, leader of Israel. Yes, the current prime minister.
How is that possible?
How is that possible?
Don't you?
He just fucking grew up in Philadelphia. What do you mean?
Okay.
Anyway, so he also went to MIT. So here's the thing: all of this makes a lot more sense if you look at Israel as not just like Egypt, a client state, a vassal state, but instead just as an American state, the 51st state, right?
Are you saying that they're attacking other countries because we want them to?
Yes. So here's how this works. Israel is basically another state of the United States of America. That's the way to analyze it. We say it's sovereign, but it's not really sovereign, okay? It's completely motivated and controlled, and there's like, obviously they have their own territorial ambitions and whatnot, but like ultimately America is the big dog in here in the party, okay? It doesn't seem like it right now because Biden is a fucking idiot and very, very, very much invested in Israel's ultra-Zionist project, but Israel is basically the 51st state of the United States of America. And not only is it a state, I like to say it is one of the most important states. Like, it's not like North Dakota. You know what I mean? We could get rid of North Dakota. Who fucking cares? You know, unite the Dakotas. Who gives a shit? No one will think about that ever again. But Israel is significantly more important. That's why it gets more money than other American states. So
Jesus,
that's it. Israel basically is an American state, but in a resource-rich region that has its own espionage facilities. So there's like plausible deniability when they do stuff. You're like, oh, that's a different state. Well, that's not us. Come on, guys. It has its own unsinkable aircraft carrier, basically, in the region that we're constantly giving them all the newest weapons and newest toys that we develop in the United States of America. And our tax money completely funds and props up the Israeli state. And that is precisely the reason why in the American stock market, there are more Israeli companies than there are Indian companies and like 3 or 4 other nations combined. So our partnership with Israel is like this, okay?
So who's like making these calls? Because you know it's Biden can't even think. So like who's making these calls? Like who's in charge? Like who's running the show here?
I think a lot of the people that Biden has surrounded himself with are all on board with the interest of Israel. They're like, yeah, they're gonna keep doing this, they're gonna keep pummeling, but I think it's okay because, you know, they're the good guys and everyone else is the bad guy.
I don't see how this is, like, for the average American, why is this good for us if Israel's pummeling this area?
How do I explain it? So there's 2 different ways to describe it. In the simplest terms, it's not.
Okay.
It's not beneficial. It's not beneficial even a little bit. But I guess the American government does a lot of stuff that's not inherently or immediately beneficial to the American interest, but we do it anyway. Why did we go to Iraq? Why did we invade Iraq? Was that beneficial?
Was that George Bush?
Yeah. Well, Dick
Jr.,
Cheney,
right?
Dick Cheney and him, yeah.
Well, okay.
Dick Cheney was his vice president. So there's a couple different reasons why it's beneficial for some American interests. One, we get to take oil and control oil and extract oil with Western corporations. We parse through their natural resources as we usually do in many parts of the global South. But beyond that, there's also an industry that matters perhaps the most in the United States of America. Broadly defined, the military-industrial complex.
Okay.
And basically, military-industrial complex is very important to us because it is our manufacturing. It is at the heart of our manufacturing. It's the one kind of manufacturing that has not moved overseas when a lot of our other manufacturing has moved overseas.
So making weapons.
So making weapons is very important for us. Doing R&D for weapons is very important for us. Taxpayers fund the weapons research. Taxpayers fund wages. Taxpayers create the factories so that we can make more weapons. And then when we have weapons, we got to use those weapons, right? Obviously, you got to go somewhere. You can't just have them sitting in a fucking arsenal somewhere going to waste.
Are you telling me this is all about money?
Yes, of course.
But don't we have more than everyone already?
But how do we get here?
I mean, are we good?
And also, who has the money? is also important because
that's what I'm asking you.
Because the reality is, we like to talk about the GDP, right? Or we like to talk about like our overall output and how much money we have as America. But what good is all of that money out there as, you know, numbers on a board if the average American can't actually heal itself? The average American can't go to the fucking doctor without, you know, going into medical bankruptcy. Does that money matter all that much? Like, it's great. We're one of the richest nations. We are the richest nation on the planet, richest nation in history. And yet we can't take care of our own citizens. We have tens of thousands of homeless people on the streets. We have people who need health care. We have no mechanism of competing with the rest of the world in terms of like our education. Our education is also paywalled for no fucking reason. When other countries don't do that at all because they understand it's probably better to educate as many people as possible.
They have to be doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it's short term. It's an endless death spiral caused by short term profit seeking.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, we're all fucked up, huh?
Yes. And that's definitely.
I thought my problems were problems, like being single and alone, but
so
not really that big of a deal compared to this shit.
So yeah. Basically, the short and sweet of it is that Israel must exist. Israel must exist in the ways that it does as an American vestige of empire in a resource-rich region that is, at any moment, can immediately take control over a key trade route here.
So,
okay? Because if it doesn't, then, you know, they're cooked. And what has actually happened in post-October 7, when Israel started relentlessly bombing Gaza, a territory that is basically an open-air prison that it currently, and pre-October 7, occupied, restricting trade, refusing to allow them to build water wells, build fucking airports, build a port for their ships.
Yeah. Can they turn off like the power and the water?
Yes, and they did. They did.
That is not a fair fight.
Defense Minister Yoav Gallant,
what the fuck?
In the immediate aftermath of October 7, came out and openly stated, the defense minister of Israel, Yoav Gallant, who is a war criminal, and that's not just me, that's the international court, the ICC, International Criminal Court, is also has decided that he is very likely a war criminal. There's a warrant, there's an application for a warrant out for his arrest for war crimes. Now, Yoav Gallant said in the early month of October that Israel was fighting against animals, and that because they're fighting against animals, they have to turn off their water, their electricity, and their food.
That's what he said. Up.
And they did do that. And then people were like, hey, you can't do that. That's a war crime.
And he did anyways?
And then they basically, like, slowly but surely just changed the faucet a little bit. But yeah, here it is. This is fifth day of heavy fighting between Israel and Hamas today as the death toll soar. More than 1,200 Israelis and 1,100 Palestinians are now dead. This was early October, October 11. Gaza cut off from food, water, and fuel as Israel's punishing bombardment continues.
Man, this is tragic. Has anyone talked about a solution? Is there even one?
There is, dissolving the apartheid. But that's not what I was going to talk about. The reason why I brought all this up was because the Houthis in Yemen, after a rigorous bombing campaign that Saudi Arabia, another one of our very important allies, not as important as Israel, but still very important ally in the region, alongside the UAE right here, was bombing the shit out of this country called Yemen. This country also has, different sects of Islam, like different religious sects that operate within its boundaries. And there was always some infighting. And there was a group of guys that called themselves Houthis. They are of a similar sect of Shia Muslims that are backed basically by Iran. They take control. They take control of the country in the during this genocide that is occurring in Yemen. Genocide backed by, again, American bombs that Saudi Arabia is doing. There's a full-blown blockade. People can't get food. They're bombing fucking school buses and shit with American bombs. Again, we're giving Saudi Arabia bombs so they can do this, and the UAE as well. And there's different groups that they're backing. There's always like a guy that you have that you're like, oh, well, this is my guy. This guy should be in charge.
Yeah.
actually. But then everyone's like, well, we fucking hate that guy. They might not even like the Houthis themselves, but they're like, but we don't like this guy either, right? And everyone is trying to take advantage of that situation. All these other regional actors are trying to take advantage of that that situation. Houthis basically come out as the victors from that, okay? And they set up a new coalition called the Ansar Allah movement in Yemen. What they immediately start doing is they start saying, oh, Israel, you're going to fucking blow up Palestinians? Well, guess what? We're going to blow you up. And you're like, what do you mean? You guys just fucking overcame a genocide. What the fuck do you mean you're going to blow it up? I didn't even think that the Houthis had that smoke. Okay. I didn't think that the Ansar Allah movement was going to do that shit. Okay. I thought all they did was basically, you know, walk around with like blades in their fucking belts and look cool. Okay. And make musicals. They make a lot of musicals. I can show you some of them in a second.
Oh, okay.
Well, it turns out they do more than that, because they do also get like a lot of weapons from Iran, which is a much larger regional actor as well. Outside of the musicals, they also literally have an insane arsenal that they are not afraid of using against anyone and everyone. So they go, guess what? Hey, you like the Suez Canal? You like the fucking Strait? You like the Red Sea right here? You like that trade route? It's gone. How are they going to do that? America does it all the time. How are the Houthis going to do that? Well, they go, listen, you want to fucking bring a ship through here? We're going to take it. So that's exactly what the Houthis start doing. They start fucking sending in helicopters onto fucking ships and taking over the ships
Like
and
Rust.
going, it's our ship. Yes, exactly like Rust. Wait, we got to have that.
They're doing cargo.
We have to, yeah, here it is.
This is Rust?
Bro, they fucking, look at this. They got the Palestinian flag that they painted under the helicopter with the Yemen flag. They fucking they start overtaking the ships. And they're like, guess what, dog? No more trade to Israel. If you're an Israeli, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, or if you are actually sending ships to the Israeli port of, it's not Eilat, it's the other one that is now bankrupt. But what was the other port? Haifa, right? Is it Haifa? Is Haifa the bankrupt one? Anyway, there's a lot of information. I can't recall all of it. But they go, if you are sending ships into Israel, if you are owned by an Israeli subsidiary, if you're owned by an Israeli corporation, we're going to take over your ship. You cannot fucking use this trade route anymore. Guess what, bitch? It's our fucking territorial boundary, and we're going to enforce this until you stop doing genocide in Gaza. Because they say it. They're like, listen, we don't like you. We're not a fan of you. Okay.
So this is like a third party.
Yeah, this is a group of people that are like, no, we care about the Palestinians. We don't want you bombing them. So we're going to fucking take action, and we're going to try to punish you economically to the best of our ability. And by God, they started doing that, and they were doing it real well. So they started taking over these ships. They started targeting the ships. If you pass through, they communicate with you. They're like, hey, where are you going? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you're trying to get in there, we're going to fucking bomb you.
Are there people on this helicopter right now?
Yes. What do you mean? Of course there are people on this helicopter. What do you think? It's a fucking drone?
Kind of, from this angle.
No, there are people on this helicopter.
So this is like a hostile. They're streaming this?
Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence, right? So like their goal is to film it and show it to the world. So like other companies that don't want to risk having this happen to their product, having this happen to their ships, literally are like, okay, we're not going to use the trade route anymore. All of a sudden, if you don't use the trade route, trade gets more expensive for the West. All of a sudden, if you can't use that trade route, Israeli port is going to get bankrupt. Israel is not going to be able to get the materials in time that they need for waging their war. Israeli society is going to start getting upset. They're going to be like, I can't get my treats. I can't get my Amazon Prime deliveries. What the fuck is going on? I hate this. Israel sucks. I'm leaving Israel. That's the goal. The goal is to be like, yeah, your shit sucks. Okay, well then stop, doing genocide in Gaza. And
this is wild.
So these guys did all of this, right? They did all of this.
Is that their helicopter?
Yeah.
That looks like a legit helicopter.
It is a legit helicopter.
This is wild.
Yeah. So a new IRL streaming idea for Extra Emily. Yeah. They take it over. And they tell the people in the ship, usually like mostly Filipino people, Filipino crews. Oh. And they're like, all right, well, we got no problems with you, but you're coming with us. We're taking over the ship. So they did that. And basically they shut down the fucking strait. Like they almost completely shut it down. with exceptions. Like if you're, I don't know, if you're like a Russian ship or some shit, if you're not going to Israel, then they let it go through. But America did not like that. America was like, we're the big bad. You're not the big bad. Who the fuck are you, bitch? We were helping Saudi Arabia do genocide to you like not that long ago. You better back down. So America started launching their fucking cruisers. Okay? They started sending their big old ships. And at the time, a lot of people celebrated it. They were like, oh, the Houthis are going to learn today why, like, we don't have healthcare. And they were flexing. They were flexing that we don't have healthcare because we need to because we are the dominant force globally. And I'm like, bro, why the fuck do you care about being the dominant force globally when you don't have healthcare? You're a fucking idiot. You're a loser. Anyway, so basically, they started this operation called Prosperity Guardian, which one of my friends calls Operation Amazon Prime Shipping. But basically what ended up happening with Prosperity Guardian is they started bombing these Yemeni positions. They were like, we're going to fucking mercilessly bomb you. Oh, yeah? You think you can fucking...
Wait, who's bombing who?
America. And also England.
Are we allowed to do
England, America. We can do whatever the fuck we want,
Don't
big
we have
dog.
to like declare war or something before we... No? Are we just throwing bombs for fun? What? I don't know. I thought we were supposed to do stuff like that.
Yeah, no. That's a cute question. No, we do whatever the fuck we want. Okay?
Well, not we. It's them in charge.
Yeah, America gets to do whatever the fuck it wants. So
no.
Basically, Operation Prosperity Guardian starts. Okay? It's a United States-led military operation by a multinational coalition formed in December 2023 to respond to the Houthi-led attacks on shipping in the Red Sea. Okay? Here are the belligerents. The United States Navy, the Royal Navy, the Royal Australian Navy, the Royal Bahrain Naval Force, the Royal Canadian Navy, the Royal Danish Navy, the Finnish Navy. My favorite was the Seychelles Coast Guard that also were like, we'll take some of that piece. We'll take a piece of that action. Anyway, ultimately, this coalition of royal navies and forces got together and they were pummeling Yemen. They were blowing up Yemeni positions where they have rockets or whatever, right? But to the Yemeni people, they were like, dog, death is all we know. We just overcame a genocide. You think this is going to fucking stop us? I'm going to make more musicals now. So they did. And they started bombing American military ships, Navy ships. They even recently, and this was like kind of reported, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they might have even targeted the naval vessel for refueling the other naval ships in the region. They had to literally tow that away, but
they're not afraid.
Basically, and I'm going to show you this. Here are the Houthis hammering 3 U.S. warships with 23 ballistic missiles and drones from the Red Sea after the Tel Aviv attack. And I'm going to run the 3-minute ad break right now, and I'm also going to pee real quickly. Okay? I'll be back in a second. You watch this.
Okay. So this is going on like right now. Is it embarrassing to say that I had no idea this was happening? Like no one told me this. Like no one told me this was going on. This is kind of scary. Oh my God. I assume people are getting hurt when all this is happening. Are those AKs? Live hand stream thing. I like coming over here because I learned so much about things I don't know. Like, I'll never take time at home to learn about this sort of stuff. Every time I see some of these missiles getting shot, it just seems like that money could have been put somewhere else, somewhere better for anybody. All this seems like a waste of money and life, you know?
So, anyway, the reason why I brought all this up is because you're right. It is a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
And it's especially a huge waste of money because the Ansar Allah movement, the Houthis in Yemen, said, hey, there's an alternative out there where we don't have to do this fucking, blowing up ships shit, right?
Who said this?
What is this? Oh, this is, hold on. There is an alternative out there where we don't have to wage war like this, right? It's a beautiful, prosperous alternative. It's called Israel Stop Doing Genocide in Gaza.
Right.
So they said it. They were very clear. They're like, we'll stop. We don't give a shit. It's not like we love blowing up the ships. Just stop doing genocide in Gaza. But Israel was like, no, we have to keep doing genocide in Gaza. So America was like, of course, Israel is our ally. We have to do everything we can to bring them to heel.
Is it really that black and white?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm simplifying a little bit, but here,
I've seen this.
You've seen this.
Yeah, that's so loud.
But one thing you also have to remember is, where is that money going? Now, the missiles are going in the direction sometimes of like Yemeni positions, okay? But where is that money coming from? Well, that money is taxpayer funded. Taxpayers paid for the people's wages in factories to build those fucking munitions, and then the American military purchases those munitions, giving that money back to the corporations. And basically, it's this never-ending cycle. But when you got it, you got to use it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And by that, I mean you lose the budget. So you always have to keep, you always have to keep using the endless amounts of funds, the ever-expansive funds. So, at the end of it all, okay, Operation Prosperity Guardian.
Yeah.
Was it a success? We are the most powerful Navy on the planet. I mean, look at this. Look at all these people. Look at all these places. Look at everything that's going on. It was a whopping failure. It was a massive failure. The Houthis were determined. They were not able to stop the fucking bombing campaigns. And America, in the process, spent billions of dollars and attacked and never stopped attacking Houthi positions over and over and over again. Okay? And at the end of it, they said, we're throwing up the flag. We can't deal with this. It's done.
Is it still going on in the trade route? Are they still going after ships?
Here is a very funny moment where, here, let's listen. So someone asked Biden, are the airstrikes in Yemen working?
Well, when you say working, are they stopping the Houthis? No. Are they going to continue? Yes.
At least he's on.
Yeah. And that's precisely what happened. And basically, it was a spectacular failure with American media openly admitting its failure. Here is, let's see what the total cost was at the end of it. Operation Prosperity Guardian failure. Here is Jeffrey Wells. I mean, he's like a think tank guy. Operation Prosperity Guardian, a colossal blunder demanding an unyielding response. This was back from August. Okay. They wanted to annihilate the Houthi infrastructure. They wanted to end the floundering. This guy is like advocating to go all in, I think. Enable disaster, fix it now. Ultimate goal, neutralize and deter. Call to arms, no half measures. Okay, where is the actual cost? I need to see it. Not the fucking Navy equipment cost. I need to see the total dollars spent on this operation. Tell Nick about the aid pier cost. Oh, God, that was even crazier. But for that, I need to describe to him like the rules of waging war and what you have as a nation state, like the obligations you have to the civilian population. You have to allow humanitarian aid to flow into the areas that you're bombing so that the civilians don't get fucking killed. And Israel, being the belligerent occupier, already is illegally occupying Gaza and has no right under international law to be able to bomb Gaza in an effort to defend itself. That's like literally illegal for them, but it doesn't matter because Israel's America and America is Israel. And, these rules of war are not for us. It's for our enemies.
Oh, my God.
And in this process, because this was such a glaringly obvious violation of humanitarian law, a lot of these NGOs, non-government organizations, aid organizations go, hold on. You can't stop the flow of humanitarian aid into a civilian population. That's a war crime. It kind of seems like you're trying to genocide these people, Israel. So America goes, we got it. We will fix this problem. Now, did they actually want to give humanitarian aid to the Palestinians? Fuck no, they don't give a shit, right?
Is that when they dropped the packages?
That was part of it. Yes.
I saw that.
That was part of it.
Didn't the package hit somebody and kill them?
Yes, it did. The other part of it was, let's build a pier. And on May 17th of 2024, this $230 million U.S. Gaza aid pier opens. There it is, that pier. It doesn't look like that anymore. Spoiler alert, the pier is gone. because in May 25th, it's damaged. June 7th, it's reconnected. UN pauses distribution on June 9th because Israeli forces killed 274 Palestinians and operate a helicopter in the vicinity of the pier, leading people into believing that maybe the pier is actually being used for military purpose. You can't do that for humanitarian aid. This is not a dual-use utility. This is a single-use utility. It's supposed to be for humanitarian aid being delivered. Also, the question on everyone's minds at the time was, why do you need a pier? You have direct open routes from Israel into Gaza that Israel controls. Why can't you send the trucks in? Why not?
Why not?
Because Israel was not interested in that. They wanted to limit the amount of fucking food that was going in because they wanted to cause chaos amongst the civilian population.
Why is this pier so expensive? It looks like shit.
It's expensive because everything that the American government contracts out to private parties or everything that the American Defense Department pays for is expensive. It's all inflated. It's all bloated.
This thing looks like you can get a guy from Alabama to make it in about 2 weeks.
Anyway, but the real reason why America did this is because we wanted to defend Israel from the PR front. See, Israel is letting us build an aid for build a pier for humanitarian aid to go in. If they were the big bad, if they were in violation of human rights, and if they were doing a war crime and not allowing humanitarian aid to flow into the civilian population in Gaza, they wouldn't have let us build this pier. But the pier never actually served that purpose. The purpose of it was to do PR, and it even failed on the PR front because the pier failed multiple times. June 14th, pier is removed. June 19th, pier is reconnected. June 28th, pier removed again. June 9th, announced it is briefly reinstalled, but it failed. And on July 17th, the pier officially closed. This was a $200 million process in which defense contractors made some money, right? We paid a lot of people to build the pier. We paid the people to ship the pier over there, all the parts and whatnot. But ultimately, it was a $230 million marketing initiative to make it seem like Israel wasn't doing a genocide when it actually was. Why is this important? Because we fund most of Israel, but especially its military.
Right.
We are responsible for 70% of the munitions that Israel gets. We keep giving them more and more weapons, both on the defensive side for the Iron Dome, the Arrow 1, all the way to Arrow 3, David Sling defense systems that they have. It's not a real dome. It's just like Tamir interceptor missiles that we fire. Okay. It's very cool tech.
Yeah, I know.
We also were responsible for building it, but we don't give it to anybody else other than Israel because Israel's the best. So, and Israel refused to let Ukraine have it because Israel's the best. Anyway, at the time when Russia was invading Ukraine, Ukraine was like, hold on, I'm Jewish. That's what Zelensky said. I love Israel. Am Israel Chai. Can I please get the Iron Dome? Benjamin Netanyahu said, no, you cannot get the Iron Dome.
Is it up to him?
Fuck you. Everything's up to Benjamin Netanyahu. He can do whatever he wants. Anyway,
God.
You're forgetting.
Yeah.
Israel's the best. It's the most moral nation. It's the only democracy in the world.
51st state.
Yes. Okay.
So we love
Better
Israel.
than America. Am Israel High. Okay. So, but why is it important that it has to seem like Israel is not directly stopping humanitarian aid from going in? Because we are a nation of rules and laws. And one of those laws is a law called the Leahy Law. This law indicates that it is illegal for the United States of America to continue giving weapons to an ally if that ally is in violation of human rights.
Oh.
And this is a clear-cut definitional violation of human rights.
It's a Jim Leahy law.
So here is the problem.
Yeah.
If they're directly violating that law, then we're doing something that's illegal in our own books. We can't do that. So what did the American State Department do?
Change the law. I don't know.
No, they didn't change the law. They basically just said, oh, no, they're not doing that. They're not violating the law. What the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Now, recently, ProPublica, phenomenal investigative reporters, found a memo from USAID, U.S. Department of Aid. Okay? It's another wing of the CIA. It's another wing of the State Department. And basically, this memo showed, and this memo was sent, it's a 17-page memo that was sent to Antony Blinken, that Israel was deliberately blocking humanitarian aid to Gaza. Two government bodies concluded this in their report. And Antony Blinken, you're so biased, it's disgusting. I know, I'm so biased. Like,
I mean, the thing
I'm
is,
so biased because I'm not lying. Like, that's what it is.
How can
Okay,
you be
you want me to
biased,
just
like-
lie? I think
either it happened or it didn't, right? So how's it biased?
like exactly. These
Like,
people.
did this happen or not?
These
Like,
people,
there's no
they never have a counter. They just go, "You're biased. You're anti-Semitic. Move on." Okay. Anthony Blinken said, "Fuck this memo."
Who's Anthony Blinken?
Anthony Blinken is the head of the State Department.
Oh,
So Secretary of State.
got it.
He's in charge of like everything. Okay. He's in charge of like all of our, he's one of the most significant, most consequential aspects of America's foreign policy.
Did he get elected or appointed?
Appointed. He is a demon. Anyway, so there's documented evidence, but I'm biased for saying that there is documented evidence. Anyway, so the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, okay, delivered his assessment to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and the State Department's Refugees Bureau made its own stance known to top diplomats in late April. But Anthony Blinken was just like, nah, it's fine. It's not happening, and refused. And then further lied to Congress officially in like official meetings that he had with Congress, consistently and repeatedly lied to them and said, Israel's not violating human rights, and Israel's not stopping the delivery of humanitarian aid. The problem is, Israel was doing that in such a glaringly obvious way that we didn't need this fucking memo to know that. We already did know that because every other fucking human rights group on the ground was saying Israel is doing that. Not only were they stopping the flow of humanitarian aid into the area, they were letting metric tons of flour just sit there and perish.
Oh.
Like they were just like, there was aid. It's right there. It's inside of the territorial boundaries of Israel. They're just letting it perish because they're like, fuck you. We don't want you to have it. We want you to die. We want you to basically live in chaos, in destruction.
This is crazy.
So he lied to Congress to continue supporting our endless bloodlust in Israel, to continue giving Israel weapons. When you say he's a demon, do you mean because he shreds or because of violating international law and helping fund a genocide? Okay, a bit of both. Good question, chatter. Anthony Blinken is also known for shredding. That's him right there, baby.
This is a joke, right? No, I'm him. Who? The devil? Is that what he's singing about?
Yeah, I mean he's had a couple different tasteful moments such as this one. So Israel wasn't just fucking denying humanitarian aid from entering Gaza. Israel also was killing humanitarian aid workers at a rapid clip. They just kept killing humanitarian aid workers, and there was a very famous moment called the Flower Massacre, where Israel allows some trucks to go in, and then they shot at the trucks, causing chaos. And then the trucks like ran over people. They shot at a lot of the people that were trying to get the fucking aid from these trucks. Then Gaza, like the Gazan official, said, okay, we have a police force. What the fuck are we doing? We might as well use the police force, whatever remains of the Gazan police force in terms of civil governance. So the Gazan police chief was like, we are going to do a single file line. We're not going to let chaos happen when we are trying to get aid out. We're going to do this responsibly. So they brought forward the internal, civil police force in the region to deliver the aid to everyone. And they were in a single file line. People were receiving aid all of a sudden. The next day, Israel killed the fucking police chief. Literally the next day, and then said he was a Hamas terrorist. This is just one of the forgotten aspects of Israel's bloody campaign over the course of the past 12 months. It's just one. I'm just giving you like a Sunday. You know what I mean? Just one. It's not even, this doesn't even hit the top of the line in terms of like the ruthless efficiency in which they have slaughtered everyone. And also on top of that, have mercilessly destroyed all the buildings and made it uninhabitable. Gaza.
Is it just rubble now?
Yes.
I mean, how many people are left, man?
There are millions of people displaced. The total number of people that was living there is like 2.5 million. There are 42,000 people that they confirmed killed directly with rockets and directly with like shooting them and killing them. The Palestinian Health Ministry calculates the direct Israeli kills separately. The number that you hear is usually around 42,000. The number of death and the number of casualties is so much higher than that. They've maimed so many people. They've blown people's arms off, blown people's eyes off, all this stuff, right? So So basically, that number is actually very small in comparison to the much, much larger death number because, for example, Dropsite News actually interviewed my friends over at Dropsite News actually interviewed, I think, like the chief medical, like the chief of the health bureau, whatever remains in Gaza. And they were saying that like the actual death toll is significantly larger because there's so many people dying of there are people dying of starvation, of course. There's famine in North Gaza. But beyond that, there's a lot of people that like have cancer, for example. But they can't get their cancer treatment. Why? Because Israel is occupying the only fucking cancer ward that remains in Gaza. Israeli military is using that as a fucking battleground. So they can't get fucking cancer treatment. So they die of cancer. But that doesn't even log in as like a direct casualty of Israel's bombing campaigns. If you want to see what the before and after looks like, here is, this is, by the way, this article is more than 10 months old at this point. Holy shit. It's even worse than that. This is what it looked like before Israel, and this is what it looks like after Israel.
Is this all of Gaza or just a portion?
All of Gaza is like this now. They did this in the north first, and then they slowly moved to the center, and then they moved into the south. Now, you ask an interesting question. Because there was a red line. Rafa is the southernmost point of the Gaza Strip. Rafa has a direct entry point into Egypt. Egypt is a separate country, right? But remember, I told you Egypt is a client state of the United States of America. So basically, what happened is Biden was like, well, you told everybody to fucking leave northern Gaza and go to southern Gaza to Rafa. That's supposed to be a safe zone. So Biden accidentally said something very important. He said, my red line is an invasion of Rafa. Do not invade Rafa. That's my red line. And at the time, Biden was actually also like, he had stopped one of the countless amounts of weapons that they were sending to Israel. One, Israel was very mad about that. They were like, how dare you fucking do that? Here is Biden's red line after Israel, of course, immediately violated that red line and invaded Rafa. We lied. We kept saying to the American public, they're not invading Rafa. It's a special military campaign. This is what Rafa looks like before. This is what Rafa looks like now.
They leveled it.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And Biden said that was the red line.
That was the red line, but he never enforced it. They never enforced it at all. Of course. Why would they enforce it? And throughout this entire 12-month process, which is now nearing his 12th month. It's officially about to be a year in a couple weeks. Biden kept saying, we're tirelessly working for a ceasefire. Tirelessly. Around the clock. There's Israeli hostages inside of Gaza. Israel is killing them because they keep bombing the fucking strip. And there's hostages under the fucking rubble. They're dying too. Israel's killing its own hostages. And throughout this entire process, they're like, we're just working tirelessly. We're so mad at Israel. But every time Biden says, don't do this, Israel does it anyway. And they do it flagrantly and they do it openly. And in the process, they also get one other assurance. America's never going to stop them. And America is actually going to keep giving them more weapons. Because America says, don't do this. Israel does it. America turns around and gives another $9 billion worth of weapons to Israel the next day.
That's kind of embarrassing.
This past week. This happened this past week.
Yeah.
Literally.
Why don't we put our foot down? Is it because we really don't actually care?
This is the most complicated answer of the entire equation. Beyond what I just explained to you, it's like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, enough is enough, right? It's really embarrassing for America. America's losing its soft power capabilities. America can't no longer dictate the rest of the world in the same way because they can always be like, oh, really? You think Russia is doing a bad job? Well, how about Israel? That's what many people are saying already, right? People that are aligned with Russia. Make no mistake, what Russia is doing is also unjustifiable. They're doing America shit in Ukraine. But the problem is when you can't rein in your attack dog.
Yep, dog's off the leash.
Then when your dog is off the leash and you just keep giving your attack dog more meat to fucking grab onto, ultimately, people are going to look at that and go, well, I don't know if I believe you, man. I don't know if I believe that you want to be the fucking, you are ready to be the world police. It seems like you are not. You're weak. You're a bitch. And that is true. That is precisely what's going on. America is getting weaker on the global stage. China is actually doing a fantastic job with soft power initiatives, doing global trade. It's a really important trade partner of the United States of America as well. And as that's happening, more and more countries are going, okay, well, I mean, I don't know about these Chinese guys, but like at least they didn't enslave my people. Like, African nations are like, well, we got on the one side, we got countries that have historically enslaved us, countries that still control our banking like France and England, and countries that have enforced like rigorous and rigid austerity measures by giving us some loans from the World Bank and IMF, and then immediately implementing ridiculous austerity measures so we can't even fucking fix our country. You're keeping us poor. China, on the other hand, is like, we got money. I'll give it to you. And I'll even let go of the loans that I'm giving to you. You want to build a port? Let's go. Let's build a fucking port. You want to build railroads? I'm fucking down. And in that process, these countries are like, okay, well, I'm going to go fucking work with China. America sees that. They don't like it, but they're losing their grip of power around the planet. So they are desperately clinging on to whatever fucking ally they have in the region, Israel.
How does China feel about this whole Israel-Gaza stuff? Did they make any statements about it?
I mean, they keep saying Israel should stop killing Palestinians or whatever, but overall, China also deals with Israel. China gets fucking surveillance technology from Israel. Israel has what is known as the Pegasus system. It is the most technologically advanced surveillance mechanism known to man. It's so good that the American government actually said, Israel, you can't do that. Why? Because it can break into anyone's phone.
This is real? This is the movie?
Yeah. No, this is real. This is not a movie. As a matter of fact, it may or may not have played a formative role in a lesser known chapter of our lives in America, where MBS and our boss, Jeffrey Jebediah Bezos, had a little bit of a back and forth, a little bit of a beef, as a matter of fact. Jeffrey Bezos buys the Washington Post. There's a Washington Post journalist who is, kind of an American security state asset. His name is Jamal Khashoggi. Jamal Khashoggi is constantly shitting on MBS, constantly shitting on Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia says, hey, you should come to the fucking consulate. He comes in the consulate in Istanbul, in Turkey. They chop him up. They put him in
I know about
They put
this.
him in a barrel. Jeff Bezos is like, what the fuck? Yo, that's not cool. Why the fuck did you do that? That's one of my journalists. Yo, that's fucked up. Anyway, comes out that Jeff Bezos is cheating on his wife. How did we find out? Well, MBS may or may not have literally fucking hacked his phone directly.
They can do that from anywhere?
Yeah, they hacked his phone and they leaked his shit. And anyway, Jeff Bezos, obviously being such a powerful person, basically packed it up. But at the time, America was like, yo, this fucking technology is crazy. It is way too fucking, it is way too invasive. You can't have that, Israel. And then they were like, but also we can have it, right? Please give it to us.
Did we get it?
Yeah, we use it too. Everybody uses it. A lot of governments.
Wait, so my phone's not safe?
I mean, if they, I think they have to like get you to click on a link or some shit. But yeah. So anyway, but it never really was. Yeah.
Moon, I'm coming, buddy. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, it hacks iPhones too, and iPhones were supposed to be very secure. Obviously,
that was a joke.
So, I work in cybersecurity. They have no click RCEs, which means they can do it from anywhere. I know one where a message gets sent to you and they get full control without clicking a link. Okay, I didn't know that. So the original exploit was a no click. No, it requires no user interaction. I didn't know that it was 0 click. Okay, so anyway, why was I talking about this? Because China also, has some contracts with Israel, right? But for China, they are kicking back and fucking enjoying the show because America's influence around the globe is waning. Everyone is looking at America and be like, you're doing fucking insane genocide. What the fuck? Stop it. Stop it now. And they're like, oh, we want to stop it. And then Israel's like, fuck you, America. I will do whatever the fuck I want. So that makes America look weak. So if you're China and you're kicking back and just doing trade.
Let the fire continue.
And yeah, why would you fucking put out that fire? You don't have to do anything. So that's basically the Chinese position at this point.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in our government that's like actually trying to do the right thing?
No government. No, no, of course not.
Not one person?
No, I think even in terms of like China just cares about China. You know what I mean? They don't care about anybody else. They have no like ideological vested interest in like defending the global South or whatever. The only reason why they're doing soft power initiatives and doing the Belt and Road initiative in general is because they want to create new markets so they can fucking keep funneling more Chinese manufactured goods into. Because like the rest of the world needs to develop so that they can sell more product to the rest of the world. It's a good thing overall for them. So that's part of the reason why they're doing that. They're developing these places because they're like, we don't care. We don't have to just sell to America. We'd sell to you too. But in order for them to actually, purchase these goods, they need to develop to a certain degree. I think Hassan misunderstood. Wait, what was your question?
I'm just wondering if there's anyone in our government that's like,
oh, there are some
like, hey,
people.
stop.
I mean, there's Rashida Tlaib. Rashida Tlaib is literally Palestinian, but our government censured her for saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. They censured her. They used
wait, what word are you using?
Censure. It's like censoring. They told her to shut the fuck up. They punished her aesthetically.
Oh.
Because she said from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. An emancipatory slogan. It's like saying Black Lives Matter. And then someone going, actually, that means you want to kill all white people. And we've all collectively decided as a society that that's what that means. And if you say that, that's what you mean, actually. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You're actually censured now. That's precisely what happened.
Oh.
There are some that are good.
I got a dumb question.
What?
So you know how you're saying back in the day, like, everyone was like, hey, Jews, you go to this Israel place and, start over, whatever. Is there any way like now we can take people from Gaza and put them in a different area?
Well, that's what Israel wants to do. That's called ethnic displacement.
Wouldn't that already happen to them once?
It's also genocide. It is how Palestinians were originally kicked out of their homes.
But isn't that better than getting like just
kind of a big no-no?
Getting murdered?
Well, I think the best outcome would be for them to be able to live and coexist.
Obviously.
So that's what they're trying to do. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Build a better place, like.
Because Israel is not an unstoppable force. It's not fucking a natural disaster. It's not a fucking hurricane. It's human beings that are like clicking a button to fucking, execute these people. So obviously that would basically be like giving in to Nazi Germany in that situation. You know what I mean?
But didn't it already happen once?
What do you mean?
Didn't it happen once that like people were moved?
Yeah, they were moved into Lebanon, Jordan, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. And now look what Israel's doing in those places.
I don't know. It seems like just from what I've heard, like Israel's just not going to stop pounding these people.
Yeah.
So if they don't listen to what we're saying, surely something has to change. I don't know.
You're not wrong. Obviously, like Israel's ultimate goal is to basically fucking get all the Palestinians in Gaza Strip and everywhere else to just like move further and further away from Israel. And then they use that as a precedent to be like, well, they're over there and they're scary Palestinian guys. They always want to do terror to us. We got to take over that territory again. That's usually how they do it. That's how they did it in Lebanon
you're
too.
Saying if they moved out, they would continue to persecute them?
I mean, they have continued to persecute them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if you're a Palestinian citizen, you can't fucking enter Israel proper. If you're a Palestinian citizen that goes in the West Bank, you still literally are under a rigid apartheid regime where like you have to go through numerous checkpoints. They can fucking literally kill you. Israel killed an American citizen. An American citizen activist like 3 weeks ago. Her name was Aisha Ezgi from Seattle. She flew in to the West Bank, which is supposed to be internationally recognized Palestinian territory, but Israel is currently occupying it militarily in an illegal manner. She was at a protest. An Israeli sniper just fucking domed her, killed her, shot her in the fucking head. One shot. Yeah. The American government said nothing. They said, we'll investigate. We'll let Israel investigate. And then they said, ooh, this is really bad. Nothing. Oh, 2 weeks prior to that, they shot another American citizen from New Jersey this time. They shot him in the fucking leg. He survived, luckily. Nothing.
Why'd they shoot him?
Because they can. Like, there's no other reason.
I'm not going to lie.
Probably, in their minds, they probably thought he was Palestinian.
To be fair, it sounds like a place where maybe we shouldn't go, just to be honest.
I think these are incredibly brave people that are...
more braver than me. I'm staying here.
Yeah, these are
I probably shouldn't even be on this stream, to be honest.
These are incredibly brave people.
More brave than me. I like to sit in my car and eat chicken.
Yeah, Israel also. Oh, good luck explaining this. This is too much. This is too brain breaking.
What is that? God, is it a TV show?
Oh, how do I describe?
Wait, have you ever been to Israel?
Fuck no. You kidding me?
Wait, do you think they know who you are?
I don't know.
Let's hope not.
I'm not willing to find out. Anyway, this is Meir Ben Shitrit. Okay, that's his name. Israel has a concentration camp, many concentration camps, but one specifically called Side Teiman. This is a concentration camp where Israel goes into Gaza and fucking packs up all these people, undresses them, literally makes them sit around in their underwears and say, these are all the terrorists, la, la, la. Then we find out they're like fucking nurses and doctors and shit, but it doesn't matter. It's besides the point. They pack them up. They put them inside. They put them on trucks. They fucking hog tie them. Okay. And they ship them to this concentration camp where they torture them. Okay.
Hold
like
on.
relentless.
Israel's doing this?
Israel's doing this. Yes.
The Jews.
Well, Israel's doing it. It's not the Jews
Well,
doing
Jewish
it.
people, right?
No, it's not. It's
They're not.
This. So one thing you have to understand is that
a
like
difference.
there
Enlighten
is
me, because
a
I'm just
major
asking.
difference because like what Saudi Arabia does is not about Islam. You know, it's not like ISIS is doing what they're doing for Islam. You know what I mean? I'm
Okay.
Muslim. I don't fuck with those guys. I don't fuck with either of those guys. You know what I mean?
But isn't Zionism? I'm so confused.
It's understandable that you're confused in this circumstance because like
So Israel's
both
not Jewish.
the Nazis who hate Israel or love Israel, doesn't matter, that believe that Israel must exist or believe that Israel must go away and that Jews control the media or whatever, like both the Nazis
And Kanye.
also Israel and Kanye, and also Israel itself claims that Israel is doing this for Judaism. And that if you criticize Israel, like I'm doing right now, I'm an anti-Semitic person. So because of that reason, a lot of people like yourself get confused. You're like, what the fuck? So the Jews are doing this? No, these people are not doing this for Judaism. Yeah, obviously, yes, the military is by and large Jewish. There's some Druze people, there's some Arabs, whatever. But like, they're not doing this for Judaism.
So but they're using it as a veil.
They're using that as a defense mechanism. They're using that as a defense mechanism in the West to propagandize their position, to be like, no, you don't understand. We're doing this for Judaism. All Jews care about this. They only care about this.
Got it.
Except for the Jews that are anti-Zionist. Many of them are in this community. They call them anti-Semitic and call them terrorists. But that's besides the point. They're doing this for, they're doing this for...
Bro, this is like multi-layered and extremely complicated. I'm kind of
It's
scared.
actually not. It's very black and white when you think about it. But like, obviously, I'm trying to give you as
confused.
I'm trying to give you as much information as possible on the back end so that you at least are
So
a little bit...
Kanye was wrong then.
Kanye is still wrong, yes. He loves Hitler, he said. That's fucking insane.
He said that?
Yeah, he did. He said he loves Adolf Hitler, straight up. So...
Why would he say that?
Because he was in the throes of like a fucking manic, he's bipolar, bro.
I bet you.
What?
I bet you. Kanye takes a lot of amphetamines and it burned his brain out.
Probably. If I explain to this man Israelis come extraction brigade, his mind will explode. Israel has a unit.
What did you just say?
Israel has a unit that harvests the sperm of the soldiers in case of their untimely demise. This is called the Goon Platoon. That's what I like to call them.
Dude, what is going on?
It seems weird, right? This is what happens when you, much like the Nazis, in an identical capacity, have this insane religious and ethnic superiority complex and want to build an ethno-state. This is the type of weird shit that you engage in. It's called eugenics.
I know about that. Wait, so what about their sperm? They take the sperm from the sack when they die?
She thinks it's just another rocket attack.
I repeat, this is not a joke. This is the Israeli state itself posted this video.
But a gripping fear prickles through Shiley's entire body, and it's outside their bedroom window. Her husband, Yahav, fights the danger as Shiley runs, leaving everything behind to protect their baby, Shaya. She hides from the terrorists hunting her for 27 hours, terrified, praying that the love of her life will survive. She clings to hope that she won't need to raise their newborn alone. 4 days later, her heart shatters. She hugs Shaya tightly and knows she must fulfill Yahav's dream to create more life. So, Shiley puts out a call for the unthinkable, to retrieve his seed and be able to continue growing their family. She's in her own war against time, and the crowd leaps into action to complete her desperate mission. But it's too late. Shiley did everything she could to save her family. We still have time to save ours.
Yeah, so...
I don't understand.
Home extraction. They shove a cattle prod up the butt of the deceased, or I guess they take it directly from the ball sack if they have the opportunity to do so. They have limited time.
Of like a dead soldier?
Yeah.
So
don't ask me why they don't just nut in a fucking cup beforehand. I don't know why they don't just do that. I feel like that's a way more efficient process if you really, really, really need to ensure that you're.
And Israel put this on the internet?
Yeah.
And they thought this was okay?
Yeah, and they did it in English. When Israel does propaganda in English, know that it's actually intended for the American and the Western audience.
Why would this make them look good?
They're insane, dog. That's it.
Okay.
It's the same shit as Nazis. Like, they were insane and they did a lot of insane shit. And when you look at it in hindsight, you're like, why the fuck did they think this was appropriate? I don't know. Like, Hitler literally was like looking to find, I don't know, Santa Claus or some shit. Why was he doing that? You know, they were trying to do like excavations to find like mythical swords that would help them. Why? Because they're insane.
Oh my God. And they have power and they're crazy.
Yeah. That's why I always explain it as like, imagine if like, you know, in a parallel universe, like what would have happened if America went to war alongside the Nazis instead of against the Nazis? Well, you don't need to imagine what it would look like. This is happening right now. Now, of course, if you are to ever use that comparison or that analogy, people will call you out and they will say you're anti-Semitic. So if you don't have all this information.
What anti-Semitic means what exactly?
It means you hate Jews.
But you just said it wasn't about the Jews.
It doesn't matter. Most people still will, out in the wild, most people still operate on the boundaries of like, oh no, Israel's the Jewish state. Of course, they're doing this for the Jews and all Jews actually care about Israel, yada, yada, yada. That's not the case, but that's how propaganda works. A lot of people still think that this is like the way it works. So for that reason, I'm just letting you know, they will call you anti-Semitic. You shouldn't fucking say a lot of the things I'm saying.
Well, keep in mind.
Unless you know all of the information
I'm not going to repeat what you're
back
saying because I'm so fucking confused because I don't know what's going on. But number two, I don't really give a fuck of what people say about me in general because I just don't care. Like, listen, I do things that you probably don't like.
Yeah.
Like we took that fucking Saudi deal.
You did?
Oh yeah, me and XQC both.
Oh, no. Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. I needed the money.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way, just so you know. These fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I need the money, guys.
I'm going to grab my food.
I'm so confused. What is
اسأل أصحاب الفخامة والمعالي واسألوا عن الحشود العسكرية يوم سيطرنا على الخوبة بآلي ما نبالي بالهمر والمدفعية ما نبالي واجعلوها حرب كبرى عالمية
This is a 3-minute video of. What do you mean a music video? When you said music video, I'm expecting like bad example, Chris Brown dancing. You know?
No. They do like
do
musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shoot. This isn't a music video, Hassan.
No, it is. They do musicals about like their fucking like their actions all the time, and they love walking over. They love walking over like the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. They will always like march on it. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Bro, this is just like Bobby Shmurda in that one song.
He's saying they do not care about the heavy missiles. Like they will literally take the war to them no matter what. It's an act of for them. It's an act of resistance. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Oh my God. Oh man. You know what? I also took a McDonald's sponsor and I drink Starbucks. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
Good job.
I'm sorry, Hassan.
Are you proud of yourself?
I scabbed too.
What? Okay, stop.
I'm sorry, Hassan.
Stop.
And I like feet. But I'm a nice guy though.
That's the least consequential part of this. You liking feet is the most normal thing that you've said so far.
Oh no. Chat, I'm sorry, guys.
You're not sorry.
I'm not.
I don't give a shit.
You want?
But you're more knowledgeable now. You are now equipped with the knowledge that this is
Can I be
wrong.
honest for a second?
What?
I'm afraid of having to get a 9 to 5. I got to make as much money as I can. I won't exist in the 9 to 5 world. I get canceled or like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. I'm
Nick,
sorry.
Israel defends themselves by saying and making Americans repeat that if you hate Israel, you're anti-Semitic, which is to scare anti-Israel people like you and me, not to say anything bad about Israel under the veil, that if you hate Israel, you hate the Jews.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Well, I don't, it takes a lot of effort to hate though,
I agree.
Yeah. Man, there's some
people it comes easy though,
Really?
Yeah. Some countries make it easy, to be honest.
I'm just so busy that like I don't really have time to be like
Yeah, too busy fucking getting McDonald's sponsorships.
Yeah.
Oh God, we haven't even talked about the rape riots yet.
Pardon? The what?
So Israel has a concentration camp called Sde Taman.
Yes, you
they're
told me about it.
they're mass apprehending Palestinians and putting them there and then like releasing them back into Gaza after 2 weeks of like torturing them. We find out in those concentration camps that they're raping them. Some of them are getting raped to death. They're literally raping them with like electric pods and batons and raping them to death. And these are innocent people. These are innocent Palestinians, but they're calling them terrorists. Everyone, if you call someone a terrorist, you can do whatever the fuck you want to them in the eyes of Israel, right? So what ends up happening is because there is an ICC court case on Israel for war crimes, basically there is a principle called complementarity. What complementarity means is that if the country's a democratic Western-backed nation, they have their own internal processes where they look through the war crimes and they actually prosecute them. So no other outside group has to prosecute for them, right? That's why, like, remember what we did with the fucking aid ship or the aid port that never worked? Like, it's the similar principle of like, oh, well, we're prosecuting ourselves. Don't prosecute us, please.
Right.
We're investigating ourselves. We're a nation of laws. That's what Israel says. So basically, the Israeli government takes 9 of these concentration camp guards and says, you guys are the head rapists. You've done too many rapes. You've killed too many people by raping them. We have to prosecute you.
Was it 9 random guards?
I don't think it was 9 random guards. I think they were like literally on camera doing the raping. There was footage of it. So
why was it recorded? That's crazy.
There's cameras everywhere. It's a concentration camp. So basically, what ends up happening?
Wait, did you see the footage?
I saw some parts of the.
Was it blurred out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, they have to do an internal investigation. Otherwise, they're going to be like. Otherwise, people can be like, "Well, you're not even investigating this shit. The fuck? Boom! Another war crime on the docket, right?" So Israel arrests these 9 guys. They detain them. But the Israeli society gets very mad. They're like, how dare you detain these guys? Israel, the Knesset, which is the like their parliament, right? That's called Knesset, is actually out on holiday, right? Summer holiday. They hold an emergency meeting specific on the fate of these 9 detained concentration camp guards. Now I'll show you. I think this is, does chat have the parliament meeting? Do you have a clip from the parliamentary meeting, chat? If you can link it to me, I want to show him what the person said.
Can I grab a drink?
Yeah. Give me a Diet Coke as well.
Yes.
Did Nick volunteer to learn this stuff on his own? He did. He just came in and
I might.
Thank you.
Chad, I might not know a lot about this stuff, but don't get it wrong. Like, this stuff fascinates me and I love to learn about it. Like, I'm really I like World War II and I'm like a big fan of serial killers. That was probably not the best phrase of that, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's Israel is behaving like a World War II villain and also behaving like serial killers. Here is the meeting.
Okay.
In the Knesset.
Yep.
Okay. Where one of the parliamentary officials from the Ta'al party, minister of the Knesset, Ahmad Tibi, says to insert a stick in a person's rectum, is that legitimate? Here is how the Knesset member from Benjamin Netanyahu, remember him?
Yeah, the guy in charge.
From his party, here's how he retaliates.
אבל יש אירוע כרגע בשדה תימן שמשטרה צבאית הגיעו לעצור חיילים ששמרו על מחבלי נוח'בה. והחיילים בשדה תימן, כנראה בגלל איזה שהם טענות של יחס למחבלי נוח'בה, ויש שם אירוע של התבצרות וכולי. הטרלול שהמדינה שלנו, אני קם עד שהסיפור הזה...
Man is saying he's outraged. Why is he outraged? Not because it came out that his soldiers are raping Palestinian prisoners to death. He's outraged that those people are being prosecuted and detained.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end there.
Okay?
You can do anything you want to them. Okay? So he's a pro-rape advocate.
You said
but
they weren't even terrorists. They're just people.
Yeah, they're just regular old people, but they call them terrorists. They call them Nukba, which is like the elite group of terrorists,
Hassan,
right?
This is insane.
Yeah, of course it's insane. I know. And you know what's really interesting? I don't fault you for not knowing anything about this because the American media did not even cover it because what happens after this is even more insane. It got crazier. So they detained the 9 guys.
Yeah.
You remember January 6th? Where some of our bravest patriots stormed the halls of Congress?
Like fucking squeaks in Senate. Yeah, I remember.
Okay. Israel has its own January 6th moment where they storm the detention center and the facility where the 9 guards are being detained with guns. They go in and they're like, you are going to release these rapists. It is a pro-rape riot. The pro-rape riot is attended by members of the Israeli Knesset. It's all over the news. They're like, no, we want this to happen. We want them to keep doing the rapes. There is like a rabbi that comes out and is like, it's legitimate, like to do that.
Okay.
So
wait, can I ask you a question?
What?
And this might sound stupid.
Okay.
But why do they have to rape?
I don't know.
Why do they have to rape? I don't understand.
It's ritualistic and systematized humiliation of the enemy. That's what it is. The enemy is not human. They are less than human. They are subhuman, and they are a scourge, and that they must be dealt with in incredibly violent means. Rape is a deterrent in this circumstance.
That's insane.
I know it's insane, bro. That's what happens. That's why I'm saying it's fucking fascist. This is Nazi shit. That's why I will always say it. Like, this is some Nazi shit. Anyway.
I can tell you most of my friends don't even know that this is going on.
Of course they don't. Even people who are like knowledgeable on the matter, who like pay attention to this stuff, if they're only getting their fucking resources from CNN, will never know this shit because CNN doesn't cover it. Because if they covered it, oh my God, Americans would be like, what the fuck do you mean they did a pro-rape riot?
You know what's funny? You're the streamer I watch the most.
Yeah.
But when I realized that when you're on my monitor,
yeah,
I'm not actually listening to a word you say. I'm just looking at you talking. I listen to you all the time. I watch you almost every day.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm not even listening to what you're saying or comprehending it.
That's not good.
I just like the way that you're like moving around and shit. Because this is all new to me. This is like the first time I'm locked in and I'm paying attention.
Okay. Well, I hope this is instructive and informative.
I'm not going to lie. I'm fucking scared.
I mean, yeah, makes sense.
This is horrifying. Like the things you're telling me is straight up fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
You know, I thought ERP was bad.
So, yeah. So here's the pro-rape riot. There are lawmakers in the riot. They attacked the base in protest of the Israeli military police detaining 9 soldiers suspected of sexually assaulting a prisoner.
And who are these people here? Exactly.
These are just like Israeli society members.
It's like citizens.
Members of the parliament, like the Israeli Knesset. Lawmakers are leading the charge. It's like fucking if January 6th was being done by, you know, like prominent members of the Republican Party, which it was, but like not really prominent members of the Republican Party, but if they were like actively leading the charge. Like Derek Evans, who made it into the Capitol only to have his political career cut short by that mistake.
This is all insane, man.
So
there's so much more to life than like, why is everyone fighting? Can't we just?
But hold on.
Yeah.
The pro-rape riots succeed.
They break them out.
But it doesn't end there. Not only do they break them out,
they don't go back to raping, do they?
Here we go. Here we have.
Yeah.
Mayor Ben Shitrit.
Yeah.
The prominent rapist. Okay. The #1 rapist. Why do we know who he is? That's because he puts a balaclava on his head, okay, like a mask to hide his identity,
right?
And goes on national television to defend his rape. He's like, well, I have every right to do this. You know, they deserve it. He's the top rapist, right? At the heart of this entire story. Then he unmasks himself voluntarily, and then Israeli national television turns him into a TV, like a TV star. Now Maya force fighter Mayor Ben Shitrich, who was investigated on suspicion of rape, no less, is coming tonight to open everything about the Sidei Yemen affair or Sidei Teiman affair.
מאיר בן שטרית שהתמודד עם הנוח'בות בשדה תימן ועכשיו מתמודד עם האשמות קשות וכולנו רוצים לשמוע מה יש לו להגיד וגם יהיה... תגיד לי, לאן אתה עומד ככה?
He looks like a serial killer. Is that him again?
Yeah, the top Israeli rabbi blessed the soldier accused of the rape, by the way.
Wait a minute. Why do people keep saying accused? Wasn't it just defended?
Well, they're using you know, they have to say allegation because the court process never went through.
Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah, here is in June 2023, while in reserve duty in the West Bank, why can't we go into the Negev with machine guns? Why can't we go in with mag machine guns? Why can't we go in with the holding force of a grenade launcher, such as the place of a terrorist? 2 days ago, all these terrorists were standing there, 150 to 200 armed terrorists. Why don't we get 3 to 4 attack helicopters up in the sky and spray everyone? He posted this. He also posted, you know, his defense or in many instances talked about like what he was doing. Here's Ben Shitrich, who is settlement adjacent to Hebron. He's a settler too. There's a different designation for like the most insane aspects of Israeli society because like you have people living in like Tel Aviv and Israel proper, okay? And then you have people living in the West Bank. The people living in the West Bank are the most insane because they're like, they are the most loyal soldiers of Zionism. They're like, they're basically the most insane. They're like, no, we have to live here so that we can take over this land and eventually. And the Israeli government has basically allowed them to do that and have actually urged them to do that, right? Here's a really famous, prominent example. This man right here from, I believe, Brooklyn or Long Island is a fantastic example of how the settler process works. This is in East Jerusalem, which is occupied by Israel, but there are a lot of historic Palestinian homes there. This is one of those historic Palestinian homes. Jacob flew in from Long Island to come to East Jerusalem and basically took over someone's house, literally.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it, ya ammi.
This guy?
Yeah.
This guy definitely has a Reddit account.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
it's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
You are stealing my house.
So he just came from America to steal someone's house?
Yeah, they do it all the time.
I mean, did he get the house?
I think they did. I think he did, yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, they've been doing this nonstop.
So they take somebody else's house?
Yeah. Yeah, and the military comes in and kicks them out.
Wait, kicks out the owners of the house?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. This is depressing as hell.
If you were to, like, for example, sometimes in the media, they'll be like, an anti-Semitic incident occurred in a fucking Jewish community center the other week, where anti-Semitic protesters attacked Jewish people that were quietly congregating. And then you look into it, and you look into the fucking incident, and it turns out it's actually an auction. An auction for what, you might ask? An auction for houses. Houses where? Houses in the West Bank that Palestinians are occupying. In the United States of America, we have auctions for real estate of homes that do not belong to the people that are selling them.
Dude.
And when people go and protest those auctions, the American media says anti-Semitism.
Oh my God. It's all just fried, dude. How do you like read this stuff all day and like not like cry yourself to sleep at night? This is fucking horrible.
I'm motivated by the change that I'm motivated by the change that I might actually create in this world by educating one extra person, whether it's you or thousands of others that watch, that learn what the truth actually is, and change their minds, and then go out and protest, go out and spread the truth to other people. That's why I do it. And I've been doing this for, especially this, like, this is an issue that I've spoken about for years at this point, 10 fucking years professionally in public life. I've spoken out against Israel's actions because, like, a lot of people only became more knowledgeable of like the stuff that Israel was doing after October 7, right?
Oh,
but this has been ongoing. This video is from fucking 3 years ago.
By the way, I'm an example of this because I always thought Israel were the homies.
Yeah.
That's kind of how there was Peyton as me as an average guy from Michigan who just went to college.
Yeah.
So that's the picture that was kind of painted to me growing up.
So someone who's been doing this for years and years and years, I never thought that there would be this much outward support for Palestinians. Because 5-6 years ago, when I said stuff like this, people would be like, you're anti-Semitic. You're the most anti-Semitic person I've ever seen. Fuck you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can I have a random question?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about this.
What is it?
Again, this has nothing to do with, what was the deal with like the Jewish people in the sewers in New York? Is it all correlated or is that just something different?
No.
Okay. It's
that
different.
Is so
like remember that mattress with the blood on it? Like what was that?
Remember what I told you? Like there's like different sects of Judaism. There's
okay. I'm not trying to be racist.
Are you Christian? You're Christian, right?
What?
You're technically Christian, right?
Okay.
Would you say you're Christian? No, like you're.
I'm whatever gets me the least amount of hate.
Okay. There's a reason why I'm asking you this question.
Yeah,
your
we're both
mom's
Christian.
You grew up Christian, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every other religion is exactly like that. It's like a broad range of people who like are, not really committed believers, all the way to like the most committed fundamentalists, like as we call them. So under Judaism, there's a concept called like Orthodox Jews. This was
with the hats.
Yes.
And the
Orthodox
twirly hair.
Jews, but Orthodox Jews also have like different sects inside of Orthodox Judaism. Like you have the Neturei Karta that is actually committed anti-Zionist, but they still wear the hats. And then you have other kinds of like Haredi or ultra Orthodox populations in America and in Israel as well that are really, really involved in the settlement part. Okay. Yaakov probably is an Orthodox Jew, it seems. So,
and they have to go in the sewers?
No.
Okay.
The sewers was one specific sect of like very religious Jews,
right?
That simply wanted to expand underneath the Chabad. Like they just literally wanted to. I think the ultimate goal was like to connect like two different buildings.
Okay.
That they own.
Look at this guy.
What's up, dude? You look hot.
You look good. You look great, man. Yeah, it makes me excited seeing you walk in.
No, basically they just wanted to expand. They wanted to expand from one building and connect it to the other.
Did they ever explain the mattress with the blood on it?
I don't think so, but it's just a dirty mattress, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but in a basement.
Yeah, it could be anything. Like I don't.
Okay, but if it's Ted Bundy's basement or Jeffrey Dahmer's,
like,
you know what happened.
But they're not.
Okay.
I don't think they were like doing.
I'm just I watched a lot of serial killer stuff. The mattress was sus and it scared me. So I will never be going to the sewers in New York after seeing that.
It was literally, it's like, I don't know what the fucking mattress was about, but it's like a shit stained mattress is like one of the most common things you can find in the New York sewers.
Okay. I've never been there. I don't know what was going on there, but I'm not going to go down there. That's not meant for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to be above ground.
But it was ultimately a building dispute that was supposed to be internally dealt with.
Yeah.
As in, what's up? By the way, he couldn't figure out the water in your shower either. No, he said he's like the shower doesn't work. Okay, well all right. Well, I don't know. I can't talk about that right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of explaining very important subjects to our friend here who's learning about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict from the perspective of like not knowing anything.
Austin, I'm not gonna lie, this is fucking me up. Yeah. This is fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah. What's gonna fuck you up is the top of the hour ad break coming for you, by the way, chat. As long as you as long as you're not subscribed, you will see a 3-minute ad break right now, which is gonna fuck you up even further. So if you're strapped up and buckled in and enjoying the show, subscribe.
Oh man, dude. I don't want to be that guy, Hassan, because I've listened to everything you say. And I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but there's always two sides of the story. How close to the truth are you? Like, be honest.
Am I giving you information that is from reliable news sources? Or
I don't know. I'm so stupid. I don't know.
Okay. Fair question.
Like, would an unbiased person disagree with what you're saying?
A person that understands the truth would not, but
okay.
But as you also correctly said about your own personal background,
yeah.
To put it simply,
yeah.
Israel is our homies. And that's the way that you thought about the situation until this very moment. right?
Well, until I talked to Caroline, but yeah.
Yeah, but Israel is our homies. So ultimately, I guess the question is,
so like, if you,
I guess the question to ask you is
What do you
this,
think,
right? Like, was there two sides to slavery?
I don't know. But
no, there were, of course, there were people that were defending slavery. They were making it seem like, no, this is totally sick. That's the entire purpose of racism to begin with. White supremacy was a justification to continue the enslavement and capture and trade of like African men and women.
Well, I'm here because of that.
Okay, that's not both sides of the fucking. Like, there's always going to be people who try and rationalize horrifying actions. That does not.
I'm
mean
not
that
rationalizing. I'm just saying, like,
what
I'm against it, but at the same time,
what
like,
I need individuals like yourself to do
yeah,
is to look at this information and go, even if this is untrue, seek it out and corroborate.
Yeah.
Look at trusted resources and exercise some critical thinking. Make up your own mind. You know.
I don't. Okay, you want to hear a bad take?
What? Oh God, here we go.
I think some people, myself included, are like too stupid to think. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out myself. Especially something like this. I'm just not. I can do tech with computers and I can do all this sort of stuff. And
I disagree.
This shit's all above my pay grade, man.
I mean, but I disagree. You literally have made up your mind already.
Because you hand fed it to me. Honestly,
I know, but that's my job.
How many people have access, like direct access to someone like you? Not many.
Well, that's my goal. That's why I want to reach out and hope that people will be as shareable as you are.
Yeah, but he's answering like all my questions, chat. Like everything I can type in chat, right?
But
like,
here's the thing.
You won't be able to get this sort of one-on-one.
No,
like,
but that's what I try to do. And that's the problem, because
I see you get unlocked and you fight people.
There are a lot of people
yeah.
like you,
Yeah.
but then a lot of other people with nefarious purpose make it seem like they're asking genuine questions in an effort to fucking lock my shit up and get me stun locked and have me respond
you
to them.
Stun locked, though.
I do.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I do respond to most people. People always say, Hassan, why are you fucking repeat yourself all the goddamn time? It's because it's instructive for many people who are just tuning in, who haven't been paying attention.
Damn, this guy's good.